Reverse Planet is the virtual reality game that's absolutely dominating the global charts right now. Players are raving about everything from its space portals and supernatural powers to its epic invasion wars. And this poor soul is Xuan, who got roped into this digital craze by his best friend, Na Zhen. Next thing he knows, he's trapped for real inside that world because Reverse Planet decided to break out into reality. In the so-called Transcendent Project aiming to create a one-of-a-kind superhuman, thousands of people were thrown into this twisted research. They ran insane biological experiments on the captives trying to forcefully upgrade their bodies. After countless horrific trials, only subject number 62, our boy Gu Xuan, managed to survive. Watching everyone around him perish, Gu Xuan swore he would never forgive the psychos who put him through this. If this was his new reality, he would survive at all costs just to get his revenge, and so the plan began as warning sirens blared to life. All the innocent prisoners holding on to a desperate hope of escaping this hell made a break for it. Even our protagonist shared that thought, believing that freedom was just a sprint away, but reality, as always, had other plans. The monster blocking their path to a new life was none other than the lab's head of security. With a demonic grin and a torrent of insane ramblings, he shattered their last glimmer of hope. The guy had the oppressive aura of a final boss from a dark fantasy manhwa. In that very moment, a powerful will to live and a spirit of unity surged through the crowd. But the security chief just laughed, spewing insults and mockery. Well, all that trash talk came with a hefty price tag. He paid for his arrogance with his life, his body covered in a tapestry of wounds, his last sounds being echoes of pure agony. However, the victory was bittersweet as countless innocent lives were lost in the fray, leaving only Gu Xuan standing. The survivor is always the one who suffers most, and in just a few short days he'd endured a lifetime of farewells. Now, after all the chaos, Gu Xuan's eyes were utterly soulless, and the echoing whispers of his fallen friends became a constant nightmare. The thirst for revenge became the only thing keeping his heart beating. After escaping the lab, 1 year passed, then 2. 3 long years have passed, a lifetime spent plotting revenge for the ones he loved. His hurried steps carried a will of iron, a massive determination. Gun killed and killed again, each life taken, turning his heart a shade colder. He had honed his skills into something deadly and decisive. The Guyan of today was no longer the weakling who needed protecting, but the cycle just wouldn't quit. It was a never-ending loop of revenge, and frankly, his body was getting tired of it. Life had become a flavorless, repetitive chore. Just when he thought it was all about to end, a system window popped up out of nowhere. Honestly, it was the first surprising thing to happen to him in years. It came bearing a special mission: take down the Transcendence Project. The reward, a one-way ticket back to his old world. After a brutal world-shattering fight, the room was a chaotic mess. A demon-like man collapsed to the floor, trembling as he questioned his fate. After everything, why did it have to end like this? He was supposed to be basking in glory right now. The general manager of the Transcendence Project, a nasty gash on his face, screamed in disbelief. But why? Test subject number 81. Jin Yang hunched over and smirked. Don't tell me you actually don't know. The general manager slapped his hand away, roaring, "Shut your trap, test subject number 81. I'm not talking to the likes of you." He glared at the grim-faced young man before him, growling out a name, B. Hun. This guy with a long scar tracing his cheek and a look of utter exhaustion was none other than test subject number 62, also known as the Transcendent Being Bunun, a title straight out of a power fantasy manhwa. It wasn't much of an improvement. The manager found himself in a chokehold, his face turning a lovely shade of pale, but his mouth kept running. "You're the one. You shattered the limits of a mortal body and touched the extraordinary. You are a true transcendent. You are the most perfect masterpiece the Transcendence Project ever created. Anything, absolutely anything you desire, I will grant you. You're completely different from those other idiots." Gu Hyun coldly raised his arm, shutting him down. "I don't need it." But the manager just wouldn't give up. "Wait. Besides that, you imbecile? Do you really think killing me will end everything? The corporate alliance will never forgive anyone who dares to bare their fangs at them. It won't just be you. Your family, your relatives, even your colleagues will suffer the same fate." As soon as the words left his mouth, a brilliant beam of light appeared. A blinding flash appeared, slicing everything in two. The project manager was officially cancelled, and with it this whole mess. Yang Run hurriedly raised his dagger, blocking the disgusting gunk from splattering all over him, not forgetting to complain, "Hey now, you're getting blood all over my designer gear. I had questions for that guy, and you just had to one-shot him. What are you even—" Looking at a status window popped up immediately. Special mission, bug fix, complete. All special missions are finished and the promised rewards will be distributed. Do you wish to return to your original world? Xuan stared at the light, thinking, I can finally get out of here. All I have to do is press this. But right at that moment, a wave of dark energy erupted from under his feet. Someone's voice echoed in his ear. Xuan, where do you think you're going? Have you forgotten us? What about everyone else? Please kill them, avenge us, collect the blood. Deliver the cruelest revenge. His hands were now stained with blood. No, I'm so tired, that was more than enough, wasn't it? My absence won't change a thing now. Besides, this might be my first and only chance. Suddenly, Yang Run slapped his shoulder, calling out to Gu Xuan. He turned to look at him and said, I'm going back to my old world. Yang Jun asked, completely confused. What old world? What are you rambling about now? You've been here from the start. Man. Gu Xuan hit the yes button, triggering a brilliant blue light and left a parting message. Please pass a message on to the others for me. I'm sorry. The scene shifts to the modern world where Gu Xuan's eyes shot open in his bed, bolted upright, panting as he wondered, is this my room? Did I really come back? How much time has passed? A bewildered Gu Xuan unlocked his phone and mumbled, it's the day I got sucked into the game. Does that mean no time passed over there at all? The scars and his totally ripped muscles had all vanished as if the entire thing was just some wild dream. An image of his game self with that long hair and those dark brooding eyes straight out of a grimdark manhwa flashed in his mind. Not only that he was single-handedly taking on a massive mob, this version of Gu Xuan showed zero fear as he swung his axe, fighting for his life. He remembered Shu Ah nearly defeated, but still pleading, save me, I don't want to. You're all gonna wish you were dead. And the project manager's curse wasn't just for you lot. Oh no, he said, your entire family, your relatives, and even your co-workers would get dragged down with you. Gu Xuan immediately stumbled back to his bedroom, clutching his head and whispering, this can't be a dream. The sensation and the memories were way too vivid to just be a nightmare. 10 long years trapped in that other world, it was all terrifyingly real. Suddenly, his phone started buzzing with an incoming call from Zhang Nan. He hesitantly answered, Zhang Nan. That name rang a bell, a very loud, annoying bell. The moment Gu Xuan put the phone to his ear, he was blasted by a shriek that nearly blew out his eardrum. Gu Xuan, where have you been? Why haven't you called? Don't tell me you forgot about our plans. Gu Xuan, still in a daze, asked, plans. She quickly jogged his memory. Yes, plans, we're meeting up tonight. I'm sending you the location now, so get your butt over here. And just like that, Zhang Nan hung up, leaving our boy utterly confused about what was going on. Hold on a second. Gu Xuan stared at his phone, a memory clicking into place. I remember that voice now. She was his closest friend from his old school days. And more importantly, the very person who dragged him into playing the game Reverse Planet in the first place. Don't tell me she knows what happened and is plotting something. Nah, my memory says that's probably not it, but I better go meet her just in case. Scene change to a cozy little BBQ joint tucked away at the end of the street. A weary Gu Xuan pushed the door open, only to be greeted by a loud, hey over here. It was Zhang Nan waving enthusiastically in a pink hat. Gu Xuan, it's been forever. This is our first hangout since the semester ended, right? Want to get some drinks? He slowly walked over and sat down, shaking his head. No, I'll pass today. Gu Xuan was internally freaking out. If I get wasted right now, who knows what kind of crazy stuff I'll do? She looked at him, puzzled. Huh, that's weird. So you're just gonna eat? A short while later, sizzling, fragrant pieces of meat were grilling on the tabletop stove. Zhang Nan let out a sigh, looking a bit disappointed. Seriously, have you even tried playing it yet? You said you were just at the tutorial. Gu Xuan looked up and answered, I just created my character, and watched the opening cutscene. Internally, he added, and then I got isekai'd into the damn Manhwa world for a decade. Her jaw dropped in disbelief. What? The opening scene. What even is that Gu Xuan that's the same as not playing at all? Her words made him completely lose his cool. Not playing Gu Xuan clenched his fists so hard his knuckles turned white, silently cursing her. When you think about it, who's the one that made me suffer through hell? For 10 goddamn years if it wasn't for you. Zhongnan just swirled the drink in her glass, pouting. Aw, and here I was so excited. You promised you would be a regular on my channel. You used to be an arena master for crying out loud. Just show off half of your skills and my channel would blow up instantly. Gu Xun stared at her mid-whine, feeling utterly baffled. A streamer? Oh right, he remembered her mentioning something about being a game streamer. No wonder she's been pestering him to join her. Gu Xun mumbled softly, I never promised that. Nuan shot back instantly. You definitely said you'd show up at least once. Didn't you? He sighed, thinking to himself. Still, thanks to this, I actually feel like I've returned to reality. Not long after his veiny hands were expertly maneuvering a computer mouse, Gu Xun typed with the speed of a god. Searching for information. Planet Earth, the developer of the game Reverse Planet, is headquartered in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, USA. After a while, he leaned back and exhaled. This is pointless. Even if I go to their headquarters, it won't solve anything. If I tell them their game threw me into another world, they'll think I'm insane, assuming they are involved. It'd be even more dangerous. What if they try to silence me to cover their tracks? What the hell am I doing? Escaping that hell was a good thing, so why am I digging into this stuff? Enough, let's just forget everything that happened over there. This is the real world now. Cut to a few days later and someone has their arms slung around Gu Xun. The person next to him was chattering non-stop. Look at this guy, long time no see, as he wished Gu Xun was trying his best to live a normal life by returning to school. He focused on his notes, muttering, oh, so this is my major. This is definitely my field of study. Suddenly, a skeleton hugged Gu Xun from behind and whispered, but have you truly returned? Is this your reality? Gu Xun's face turned ashen as he immediately spun around to look. But behind him were only students quietly studying their books. Something was starting to feel terribly wrong. The entire room was bathed in red as that enchanting voice echoed non-stop. Get your revenge on them. Avenge yourself a tragic revenge. This is not the place you belong. Gu Xun couldn't take it anymore and screamed before bolting straight outside. The people around him were utterly confused, wondering what was wrong with him. As for Gu Xun, out in the hallway, our boy Bai Guan was having a full-blown panic attack. One hand braced against the wall, the other clutching his wildly pounding chest when a hand landed on his shoulder. Bai Guan, you good? Guiyun asked quickly, grabbing his friend's arm and yanking him forward. The sudden move completely startled him, making his eyes pop wide open. Acting on pure instinct, Bai Guan grabbed the hilt of his dark dagger and swung. He unleashed a vicious slash that stopped just inches from his buddy's face. Thankfully, Guiyun's voice snapped Bai Guan back to reality with his fist, still hanging in midair. Dude, what are you doing? Bai Guan flinched, pulling his arm back in a flash. Sorry, my bad. Guiyun glanced at Bai Guan's trembling hand and whispered, the other guys have been saying you've been acting pretty weird lately. Super weird. Cut to a park where Bai Guan was slowly cracking open a can of soda. He hung his head low, only to see some strange entity calling his name. It felt like he was surrounded by an army of invisible people. Come back to us. Guiyun, did you? Forget about us, come back, but all Bai Guan could do was beg. Stop it. Please just leave me alone, and right on cue, a cheerful Na-An called out to him. Seeing his dazed expression, she asked with concern, you look a little tired, are you okay? Dripping with sweat, Bai Guan denied it. Nope, nothing's wrong. Na-An hesitated for a moment. Well, if you say so. But if anything happens, you can always talk to your big sis here. Okay, I'll help you. Bai Guan immediately looked up with a scowl. Who are you? Calling big sis, huh? After that little exchange, Na-an turned to leave. Well, I'm heading out then. He just nodded. It was only then that Bai Gun realized he was the one who had been dragging these wandering souls around with him. Before long, Bai Gun found himself at some kind of simulation pod muttering to himself, "Let's assume all of this is a call to action." He took a slow, deliberate step forward. All right, at this rate, living in this world is no different from the other side. Lying down inside the pod, he resolved, I have to go back there. This time I'll put an end to all this. Once and for all. A system voice chimed in, "Welcome to Reverse Planet." Bai Gun looked around, completely baffled. This is a laboratory waiting room. Did I just enter a game world? It's not like I was ever going back to the lab from that other world anyway. This is a classic start to a great manhwa. But why can't I return to that world now that I've finally resolved to go back to that hellhole? Are there other conditions I need to meet? While he was pondering, a system window popped up. Confirm appearance. All right, enough overthinking this character screen. Gun decided to just dive into the tutorial. I can get back to that world once this is over. Once this whole thing wraps up. But first, let's peek at the settings. In the other world, Ming fought just fine without any combat assistance. The system promptly announced that stats and combat support info had been set to 0%. Next up on the agenda was the initial ability setup. Please select your core elemental ability. It also mentioned that abilities can be reset anytime, which is neat. A skill map popped up to explain things. Apparently, the power system in Reverse Planet is designed to supercharge a character by having them pick a core element first and then beefing it up with various sub-elements. This whole structure, from the core to the sub-elements, is officially called a build. The number of elements is so ridiculously large that in professional tournaments, you literally have professional build creators who dedicate their entire lives to researching the most broken combos. Among all of those, the very thing that helped Gun achieve his Transcendent title was an item he selected from this very system screen. Just then, a loudspeaker crackled to life. Test Subject 48. You awakened during the previous experiment, so it has been 1 week. Hearing that, Gun immediately thought about the excruciating pain the player must have endured. So the game just skips the whole pre-awakening torture montage. Good call. But seriously, who in their right mind would want to experience that in a video game or even a manhwa anyway? Enough of that, the announcer's voice cut in. Well then, let's begin the next experiment immediately. Step inside. But what was waiting for him inside left Xuan absolutely speechless. It was an Atel, a killing machine created specifically to stop the devastation caused by the fake awakeners from the Transcendence Project. This hunk of metal was the very reason countless test subjects had already met their grisly end. The system then started, dishing out the quest. Tutorial Mission 1. Defeat the Atel. Fight the Atel with your awakened ability. Gun looked at it with a hint of disdain. An old model, huh? He scoffed. But even as he said it, a deeply unpleasant memory surfaced. Brother Gun, save me. They were all annihilated by that hulking machine. After sending his friend to the great beyond, it turned its glowing red eyes toward Gun, and right. Now here it was again, charging straight for him. He cracked his knuckles and muttered, still here just like that day. These researchers are always pulling the most messed up stunts. The Atel launched a devastating punch, but too bad for it, Gun effortlessly dodging. But it doesn't stop, its cold eyes still locked on him as it attacks. Its arms move in a blur, creating a flurry of punches. Gun is way too familiar with this song and dance casually, weaving through the blows without a scratch. Gun lightly taps its body, making a quick assessment. The final model is a real pain since it can use special abilities, but he smashes this one to bits, yelling sarcastically, "This is just the first model." Metal shards scatter across the floor as its body practically disintegrates. After the beatdown ends, a loudspeaker announces the completion of the experiment. Test Subject 48. You are truly extraordinary. At this level, your abilities are incomparable to ordinary test subjects. You're like a protagonist from a high-tier manhwa. The main system chimes in at the same time. Guidance Mission 1. Defeat Etnel. Mission complete. Just as he is preparing to move on to the next plan, an alarm blares again. Good. Let the next experiment begin. What's going on? The intruders are those government scumbags. You pieces of trash, how in the world did you get here? After a blood-curdling scream, everything descends into chaos. This is a message for all the victims unjustly imprisoned in this laboratory. Please use all your strength and get out immediately. Gun recognizes something familiar about that voice. The system seizes the opportunity to assign a new task. Guidance Mission 2, escape the laboratory, and get outside. The explosion spreads and the ceiling starts to cave in. First things first, I gotta get out of here. The cracks are spreading. And the signs of collapse are unmistakable. Gun runs and runs but can't find a way out. He wonders how many explosions has it been already. While he's confused, a sound nearby catches his attention. The hallway is completely wrecked. The insignia of the Interspatial Management Bureau. Not an enemy, even on the brink of death, the man forces himself to ask, "You're a victim. The fact that you're here means you're trying to escape, right? What a coincidence, I can help you with that. Feel free to pick whatever you want, and this too. Once you're out, send a signal with this. The Bureau will come for you." As he finishes speaking, the flow of his life force runs dry. Is he dead? Gun looks around, trying to make sense of what's happening. While Gun is lost in thought, a monster suddenly appears. Oh right, this is a game. It must just be a cutscene. Let's skip to the good part. After a moment, he picks up an iron axe, but the instant he touches it, a demonic hand latches onto Gu Hyun, making him super uncomfortable. What is this grimy feeling? A few minutes earlier, the transformation had already begun. Somewhere else entirely. I can't believe I'm playing Reverse Planet, the most popular game in the country. My inner hipster's pride is weeping bitter tears. This lovely lady is Jang Suo Yun, a professional game streamer. The chat immediately explodes, at least she knows. She's a hipster, but she chose this popular game herself. Why is she acting like this while playing the nation's #1 game? Seriously, what's her deal? Did someone force her to play Reverse Planet as a punishment or something? Jang Suo Yun yells back in frustration. I didn't choose this punishment, you guys did. But a promise is a promise, and I, Jang So-yun, am a woman who never breaks a promise to her viewers. The chat fires back with disappointed mixed reviews. How many times have you lied about the next game being a famous one? Last time you said it was a popular game and then you pulled out some obscure hipster title. Don't be so harsh. If it weren't for her, who else would play these niche games? Jang So-yun enthusiastically gets on with the fan-suggested game. So now I will begin my punishment for failing the one-shot completion challenge by playing Reverse Planet. The chat's mood starts to shift with anticipation. Look at her changing the subject. This is gonna be so controversial. The bugs in Reverse Planet can finally rest in peace. Let's play before starting the game, she quickly goes through the main settings. No need to change the character's appearance. It looks straight out of a cool manhwa anyway, right? As for my abilities, I'll choose something cool like fire, and finally the combat support percentage. The system immediately displays character appearance saved. Ability settings, saved combat support rate 50%. Combat support is a system that helps with the entire fighting process, including posture correction, movement assistance, and skill usage adjustments. The higher the percentage, the more support you get. Confirming this setting, the chat immediately objects. It has to be 0% complete. The tutorial without any support. Are you scared? Lookma no hands. Seeing comments like these, Jang So-yun starts to have some doubts herself. Completing the tutorial with 0 support, is that even possible based on my research? From what I understand, the percentage of players worldwide who play without any assists is practically 0%. My skills were forged in the fires of obscure indie games, so I'm pretty confident in my mechanics. But they say playing without any hand-holding features is like trying to control a third arm that just sprouted out of your chest. Is that right? Yup, that's right. This is probably a terrible idea. With that thought, So Run put on her sweetest, most pleading voice. Everyone, as much as I'd love to, playing without assist is just... And just then, a loyal fan gave her all the motivation she needed. Mission: complete the tutorial without using assists. Reward: a juicy 500,000 won. The second she saw that cash, her eyes lit up like a Christmas tree and she accepted without a second thought. It's a challenge every streamer has to try at least once. The comment section could only watch utterly powerless against the might of money. With that much dough on the line, how could she possibly refuse? She changed her mind the instant the mission popped up, flipping faster than a pancake. Ah, capitalism, you beautiful beast. So Run was so giddy she started dancing on the spot. I'll play without any assists until I'm through the tutorial. A few minutes later, her morale took a spectacular nosedive. Guys, are you sure about this? Right from the get-go? She got absolutely flattened by an Itanel in under 2 minutes. So Run clenched her fists, shaking with rage. I mean, they just toss you into a battle. With zero explanation, and it's an ambush on top of that. The chat, recalling the absolute beatdown she just suffered, burst out laughing. You have to admit that part was totally unfair. Fighting an Itanel with no assists and only the core element is brutally hard, like a trial from a legendary Manhwa. Anyway, that mission was probably designed for her to fail, so Run quickly shook it off and pressed forward. Suddenly, something appeared. Well, I managed to farm a radio and a weapon, so now I just need to escape, right? A system window materialized right in front of her. Tutorial Mission 2: Escape the Laboratory, commencing automatic party matchmaking. Now matching. Recommended party size 4 members. So Run was so shocked she blurted out, "A team, huh?" She quickly composed herself and asked her fans, "If I clear this stage with teammates, it still counts, right?" The chat immediately filled with jeering laughter, as if mocking her for thinking she was about to get a free carry. A free bus is always welcome. Oh, she wouldn't be so cheerful if she knew how the matchmaking system in the tutorial actually works. It doesn't always find you a team you know. So Run started to sense that something was fishy. What do you mean it can't find a team? Reverse Planet is a super popular game, so there must be tons of players. A player, of course. The system promptly slapped her across the face with a matchmaking failed notice and started cross-teaming, expanding the search. The expanded search included trying to match with parties already in the process of forming. The chat trolls were happy to explain it to her. See, told you so. But why isn't it working for real? Matchmaking only works with people who have the same combat support ratio. What kind of lunatic completes the tutorial without using any of the support features? Reading this, Sozun's jaw dropped. Wait a minute, does that mean any member I get paired with also didn't use any support? The crowd took their chance to pile on. They roared with laughter. That's right, a no support team, so you won't be getting carried. You're the one who has to do the carrying now. I'll donate if you clear it with a no support team. A wave of helplessness washed over Sozun. Maybe I should just cancel this quest. Just as she was about to give up, the system chimed in, matchmaking successful. She frantically tried to cancel, but it was too late. Now participating in the available tutorial mission, Escape the Laboratory, she helplessly accepted her fate. I am so screwed. And just like that, Sozun was teleported into the mission with a tear in her eye, but the scene before her made her jaw hit the floor. Sozun looked around, speechless. Guys, this is no joke. The comment section nearly exploded. What is going on here? Hold on. Is this for real? Is this really the no support team? This is nuts. This has to be a pro player on a Smurf account. This is like something out of a crazy action manhwa. No professional player could do this in the tutorial without any assistance. The shattered remains of the Etanels were being turned into scrap metal. And on top of that, he took down this many of them without any support or even a gun. A perfect carry. Alright, I'm going to find that person now. In another corner, oil from the Etanels dripped down a long knife. Xuan was the one who had annihilated most of the hulking robots. As if sensing something, he glanced back warily. Sozun took a step forward, peeking out and calling softly, "Excuse me." Before she could say another word, a blade was right at her face. The person who was just over there a second ago moved like lightning. Gun had instantly realized Sozun wasn't an enemy. The close call left her terrified, stuttering, unable to speak. Once she came to her senses, she scrambled back behind the wall, screaming. "Help me!" Gun sheathed his knife. "Not an enemy, my apologies, I was mistaken." Assessing the situation, Sozun quickly realized something. Oh wait, I remember now. That blood-soaked lab coat, it's totally him. Without another word, Han Gun just turns to leave like, "Peace out." But she quickly stops him. "Hey, I think we got teamed up, so is it cool if I tag along? My name's..." Kang So-zun, I'm a streamer and I'm live right now. You mind being on camera? I've got the mode enabled. For privacy, so your face will be completely blurred. Whoa, why'd he stop all of a sudden? Did I tick him off? Just then from a distance, a whole mob of guys rushes in. It's an escaped test subject. Kill him, no need to take him alive before you can even blink. A shower of silver bullets erupts. Sozan ducks into a corner, clutching her head and whining. Why is the difficulty on this tutorial stage so insane? She peeks back at Han-gun. Hey, Mr. Bus Driver, you okay? The bullets are zipping past him like crazy, but not a single one makes contact. Han-gun waits for the perfect opening. And then he hurls his axe with a whoosh. The guards get nailed and can't even get back up. Seeing this, Sozun gets even more anxious. Meanwhile, everyone in her chat is losing their minds. What in the world was that? Jenny uses a chain sickle. Hiding behind a pile of scrap metal, Sozun asks her fans, I don't know much about reverse planets, so this is pretty top tier, right? Her chat is equally baffled. How can he even use a weapon like that without any assistance? Yeah, that's right. Actually, it's freaking insane. What kind of action manhwa am I watching right now? Sozun turns to her veteran gamer fans. Does anyone know what kind of ability my guy is using? His eyes suddenly turned completely white. Her fans are drawing a blank but are seriously impressed with Han-gun. Based on how he's using that chain sickle, is it a wind moon ability? Nah, if it were a wind skill, it'd be way more obvious. Same goes for psychokinesis. I have no idea what it is, but I'd get totally wrecked if I faced a guy like that in PvP. But among the comments, one fan recognizes the only core element capable of buffing physical stats, while also changing the user's eye color. Ah, absolute entity? She repeats the name nervously. Absolute entity? Her curiosity is piqued. Isn't that the useless ability that locks you out of using any other skills? I thought everyone said you should never pick that one. Her comment section is stumped. That's exactly why we don't get it either. An info panel for absolute entity pops up. It's one of the foundational core elements among the countless features in Reverse Planet. It massively boosts your physical stats and skill resistance, but it completely blocks you from using any skills of your own. It is because of these this penalty, players basically consider it a skill about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. The reverse time community even made a top list of things to absolutely avoid. And guess what's topping the charts from 1 to 25? Absolute entity. Honestly, I have no earthly idea why this piece of digital garbage even exists. The description says it all, folks. It completely blocks you from using skills. Seriously, if someone in your party has this, just alt +4 your way out of there. Meanwhile, Sozun stared blankly at the unfolding chaos. How weird. Not being able to use abilities in a game where abilities are supposed to be everything. The most crucial element. The comment section was blowing up with chatter and it all sounded absurd. Can you even fight without skills? Seriously, I've never seen a single soul pick absolute entity on their second playthrough. I tried it once out of morbid curiosity, like peeking into a cursed manhwa, and immediately hit delete on my character. Your eyes go completely white when you use it. I guess it really does turn you into an absolute entity of uselessness. A pure physical build could be useful in a fight with no stat modifications. Theoretically, an answer started forming in her mind. Using skills would be incredibly difficult in an unadjusted battle, so maybe it's actually worth it to just abandon everything and dump all your points into physical stats. But wait, he's probably still just at level 1. How in the world can he move like that? On the battlefield, Gu Hyun's dazzling chain work wrapped them up tight, making her even more curious. Just who is this guy? As the chain was yanked hard, a shower of bodily fluids erupted everywhere. In the blink of an eye, Gu Hyun had mopped the floor with them. His dark eyes reflected off his crimson scythe, but the shadowy entities swirling around him weren't satisfied. Gun, you need to be more violent. And on this path of vengeance, I'm still not satisfied. Meanwhile, a sneaky little camper was hiding behind a wall, the barrel of his gun aimed almost point blank at Gun. Seeing this, Sozun leaped out with a shout. "Watch out!" she yelled, sliding forward and unleashing a hail of bullets, successfully distracting the goon and saving our boy. The guy panicked, flailing around like an inflatable tube man, and right after that, Sozun slid down low and fired up, catching him completely off guard. Boom! With a single glorious shot, she gave his brain a brand new ventilation hole. After taking him out, Sozun even struck a pose, sending the comments section into a frenzy. Now that's what I call style. At least she's a decent shot. You gotta be a pro marksman to play like her. Poof, you guys are acting like she did all the work. She just got the finishing blow. A classic kill steal. But she couldn't care less about the peanut gallery right now, her eyes were only on Gun. Sozun raised her gun and flashed him a dazzling smile. So I was useful after all, right? A tiny spark of joy suddenly flickered in his mind. It made him feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Noticing his silence, Sozun piped up. Mr. Pro Gamer, you aren't mad, are you? Of course I know it's all thanks to you, I just wanted to chip in a little. Gun replied softly. Nah, not at all. His gaze softened as he admitted she had helped. The comments section went wild again. He's so nice too, he's even protecting a kill stealer. That's incredible, we can't see his face because of his privacy settings, but I'll bet my entire Manhwa collection he's handsome. His voice is super easy on the ears too, right? I know it's modulated, but still, Sozun practically bounced with joy. Really? So does that mean I can stick with you for the rest of this tutorial? I'll do everything I can to help. Xuan didn't really have a reason to say no. Sure, whatever. After walking for a bit, Sozun spoke up. Hey, Mr. Pro Gamer, he introduced himself. Just call me Xuan. She stammered a bit. Yes, Gun, is that his real name? That probably slipped past the censors. Now that she knew his name, Sozun got straight to the point. If you don't mind me asking, did you actually choose Absolute Being as your first core ability? He confirmed it without a second thought. Yep, that's the one. The chat lit up again. He actually did it. We need to totally reevaluate the potential of Absolute Being. Reevaluate what it's still a trash tier skill. Yeah, he's right. Do you really think a normal person could pull off what he just did? Sozun wanted to dig deeper. So how did you manage to dodge bullets without using a single skill? Do you play other games? Gun just shook his head. Nope, nothing else. Suddenly he came to a dead stop, making Sozun freak out. What is it? What's wrong? Based on his protagonist-level senses, Gun warned her there are 2 etanyls about 20 meters ahead. She repeated, dumbfounded. 20 meters? Sozun was seriously impressed. He doesn't even have a detection skill, but he can pinpoint the enemy's location and numbers from that far away. Yup. Xuan casually strolled forward without a hint of hesitation, like it was no big deal. Let's go. And sure enough, after another 20 meters, they ran right into them. No way. He was actually right, Gun calmly mused as the 2 etanyls charged them. You know, I think I must have really enjoyed playing Colosseum, huh? Her face went pale as she screamed a warning. Wait, look out. Gun effortlessly dodged the first attack. Before they could even react, he plants a solid kick right in its ugly mug. After taking out the first one, he continues his monologue. Back in the days when I was truly addicted to gaming. He winds up a punch and introduces himself. In that world, I was a ranker. Gu Hyung's iron fist is a thing of beauty, and not a single etanyl can take the heat. The audience is loving it. This is insane. Is this really an etanyl we're talking about? Just remember, folks, this isn't some edited footage, so this is what a top-tier ranker from Colosseum looks like. A ranker from Colosseum, huh? That actually makes a lot of sense. But our girl Xuan is still completely lost. Is being a ranker at Colosseum really that big of a deal? The comment section starts to school her. With some objective facts, since she doesn't even get the significance of it all. That damn hipster, one comment reads, honestly, I don't know either. Is it really that important? Another one asks. I don't get what people are into these days, but back in the day, the rankers in Colosseum used to get scouted by pro teams. That's right, even the legendary Butler, the pro gamer, was also Aoyer, once a ranker. She immediately recognizes the famous name. Wait, isn't Butler the best player in the entire Reverse Planet Pro League? In the chat, a couple of curious fans start speculating. You think our boy ever faced off against Butler back when they were both rankers? I wonder what would happen if our main carry and Butler actually threw down While Su-Jen is busy getting her gaming history lesson, Gu Hyung has already mopped the floor with the rest of them. Let's keep moving. She stammers helplessly, right? And just like that, they've already reached the final tutorial mission, and who's waiting for them but Jinju Do himself. So you've managed to crawl all the way here. I bet you had no idea that this place would become your grave. Turns out this dude is the head of security for the lab, making him the big boss of this tutorial stage. Jinju Do, thinking he's hot stuff, continues his villainous monologue. Don't you worry, you'll be joining your little friends again very soon. That's when Gu Hyung finally puts two and two together. Head of security, so this whole Manhwa plot was just a tutorial. But suddenly, a horrifying vision appears in his eyes. He sees the resentful ghosts that are always clinging to him. They call out to him in their chilling voices, "We see you. Hurry up and kill him. Don't waste any time." Spurred on, Jinju Do lunges forward shouting, "You're not leaving this place alive." Seeing this, Su-Jen quickly ducks down and takes aim. Too bad for her, her bullets just ping harmlessly off his shield. Wait, I thought particle barriers were only for the awakened. The comment section erupts in laughter. Dude, the head of security is obviously an awakened being. He's a boss character, so of course he's got this much health. It's so cringe watching her try to solve everything by just shooting. A mysterious sound clawed at him. Seeing the disadvantage, Su-Yun immediately backed away. "I'll provide cover fire from here." The fans were absolutely done with her. Look at her instantly calling for someone to carry the team. Quick reflexes, She's all set to be carried all right. Meanwhile, our boy dodged again, effortlessly weaving through the attacks. That's right, this is all just a game, but if this can give everyone even a little satisfaction, even for a moment, with a single, almost gentle kick, Gun shattered the shield, sending Jinju flying a whole 800 miles. It created a massive explosion. Su-Yun watched completely shell-shocked, but the fans were eating it up. He didn't even fire anything. How? Did the particle barrier just get obliterated? Is this a bug in the Manhwa's system? Jinju emerged from the rubble, his body now made of solid steel. The comment section went wild. Iron Man has entered the chat. What kind of skill is that? Is that his special ability? Yep, Iron Body is his signature move. Ju powered up with incredible force. "I will tear you limb from limb." The fans were stunned by this sudden turn of events. The very ground began to crack under the pressure. Ugh, I bet he weighs at least a ton with that skill active. You'd be instantly deleted if he landed a hit right his first punch. Caved in the ground, but missed our guy by a hair. Not stopping there, Jinju lunged forward again. "You think you can dodge forever?" His hands morphed into razor-sharp drills. He unleashed a flurry of punches relentlessly, destroying everything in their path, but Gun dodged it all with ease. He clenched his fist, preparing to counterattack, and the fans lost their minds. Just one hit would be lethal, but he's dodging everything. It's like watching a god-tier Manhwa protagonist. Even with cheats, I couldn't dodge. That barrage of his, give him some cover fire. Are you for real? The moment Gun threw his first punch, Jinju couldn't even handle it. He was sent flying back, collapsing to the ground and clutching his face in agony. Those ghostly hands reappeared. "Don't you dare deactivate your Iron Body skill." "Not yet," Gun stated coldly. "You don't get to die that easily." The voices swirled in his head, whispering, "Kill him. Tear him to pieces, just like what happened to us." But even more brutally, Jinju was terrified, unable to process what was happening. How could a mere test subject be this powerful? Gun cracked his knuckles, staring him down with the eyes of a beast. "It's all thanks to you. After all." Standing on the sidelines, Su-Yun was utterly speechless. Just then the system notification popped up. "You have defeated the chief of security of the lab." Her jaw hit the floor. What am I even looking at right now? The chat was equally speechless. This is insane. Seriously, that's our carry right there, folks. You guys better remember, he's not using any kind of exploit or mod. It's like something straight out of a power fantasy manhwa. It seems he's probably done this before. No need to dwell on it, I guess. She licked her lips playfully. Well, anyway, we beat the tutorial boss, so now we just need to get out of here, right? The chat could only sigh. I guess so, you literally just got hard carried. How is a player this overpowered even in the tutorial area? Sozun called out to him to snap him out of it. Let's go, gun. He calmly walked away, leaving Jinzu's possessed body behind. Yeah? Let's go. After getting outside, Sozun stretched her arms out in delight, finally free. The system notifications started popping up one after another. Tutorial stage, escape the laboratory complete, level up. You have received 1 skill point. Sozun turned to him, curious about what was next. Guun, are you planning to continue the main quest today? Right now, he shook his head, wanting to take a break. No, I think I'll stop here for today. Since she had him there, she asked. So, could you wait for just a moment? I have something for you. Guun agreed, sure. Sozun was overjoyed and full of admiration for him. Thanks to you, we completed the unmodded tutorial. The chat immediately went wild again. How completely shameless. She's got to be in the top 100 on Fox for the most hard-carried streamers ever. But hey, it was still fun to watch. I just got here. Is it over already? It's finished. Finally, she said her goodbyes. Today's stream was a blast, everyone. See you all tomorrow. After turning off the broadcast, Sozun finally thanked him for waiting. Guun wanted to get straight to the point. It's fine, so what did you want? Sozun got a little shy and hesitantly asked. Would you consider joining my streams on a regular basis? Guun was a little taken aback and repeated, your streams, Sozun. Quickly laid out her offer to persuade him. I mostly play the main quest line of Reverse Planet and sometimes I do some PvP. When she sensed he wasn't convinced, she went for the charm offensive. I'll make sure the stream schedule works for you, and on top of that, I'll pay a very generous appearance fee. Guun lowered his head, refusing her offer. I'm sorry, Sozun threw in the towel. Well, all right, his expression says it all. Seeing that she couldn't persuade him, Sozun switched tactics. Then can I at least add you as a friend? He agreed to that at least. Sure. With that settled, she bowed to him and then took her leave. It was really fun playing with you. Hope you enjoyed the game. The system message popped up, just business as usual. Kang-gun has logged out. But Guun was left standing there completely baffled. The tutorial was over, so why the heck wasn't he back in the real world? Meanwhile, somewhere else, a keyboard warrior was hard at work, typing up a storm. Little did Buhun know the entire reverse time community was blowing up, all asking the same question, why was this no mod no weapon run even possible? They were all convinced the player Buhun was a hacker. And let me tell you, his gameplay today was about to decide his entire future as a so-called hacker. And get this, anonymous viewer 62 dropped a cool $3,000 with the message, so how does it feel to be back in the real world the next morning over at the company that produces the VR game Reverse Planet? The Korean branch was in full-blown panic mode, facing a crisis unlike anything in its history. All because of one single player's antics. On the main screen, the fight scene replayed. Oh man, even watching it again. It was just unbelievable. No support tools, no weapons equipped yet. He managed to take down the captain of the guard squad with ridiculous ease. Zunsheng reported the online community is in total agreement this has to be cheating. Players are spamming our inboxes, putting the pressure on and demanding an official explanation from the company. The pitchforks are out. Are you absolutely positive this isn't a hack? Jin Ho nodded, dead serious. Absolutely, I've already run a full check. I've gone through every byte of data since this character was created, and there is absolutely no trace of any outside interference or any mods from external programs. Besides, we've dealt with tons of hackers before, like something straight out of a hacking manhwa. We've seen hackers who can walk through walls and hackers who can turn invisible, but this is the first time I've ever witnessed movement like that. It's a style of character control that even the most sophisticated hacks couldn't possibly replicate. Di-Zun shook his head in disbelief. If that's not cheating, then this player is just an absolute madman. Bei Chong chimed in. But there's still a chance. An incredibly small probability that we're dealing with a completely new type of hacker, one we've never seen before. Zunxiang nodded in agreement. Exactly. Regardless, we need to launch a full-scale deep dive investigation. Meanwhile, Guun was sitting across from Natsion. So you're telling me the entire online community is in a total meltdown? Because of me? Neon replied, practically vibrating with excitement. You bet right now everything is pure chaos. Absolute glorious chaos. This whole thing has even sparked a no support challenge trend throughout the gaming community. This plot is better than any manhwa. The Guardian Maiden billed over on the reverse game community forums. The hottest topic was the no assists, no guns challenge, which had a ridiculously insane difficulty without any support. Would your special abilities just completely fail to activate? Since absolutely everyone failed miserably, they all just blamed it on cheating. Do you have any idea how shocked I was when I first saw that video? Xuan continued. But how could you possibly recognize me? I was wearing a mask during the live stream. Plus, there's the whole personal information protection system. Nyoan retorted, you literally revealed your own name. Besides, I've watched you fight before. I knew you were good, but reaching that level, any outsider would have to assume you were using hacks. He mused, so that's the reason I was contacted. She was surprised. Contacted? What do you mean contacted? He hesitated. Well, about that, Nyoan was stunned. Planet Earth Korea actually reached out to you themselves. And they want to verify whether you're using hacking software. Xuan sent a message to Xuan from Kang Yun. Hello Xuan, the thing is, he continued, I received the notification through that public stream. Over here, Nyoan was buzzing with excitement. A game company is getting directly involved to check if you're a hacker. You've definitely attracted some major attention. So what are you going to do next? Xuan answered slowly. Even though it's just the Korean branch? It's a rare opportunity to get in touch with the game developers. If someone from upper management shows up, I might find a clue about that other world I'm searching for. This whole situation is like a mystery manhwa. I told them I'd think about it. But I'll probably accept their offer. Now An was thrilled. Really, that's an excellent decision. If you want to keep playing Reverse Planet, you should clear things up. It's gotta be annoying to have everyone call you a hacker. He replied, I'm not that bothered by it. Besides, no one recognizes me. I didn't even show my face on stream. Nyo An objected, no. Even if you changed your name, your fighting style is way too unique. It's impossible not to recognize it. Even in the professional scene, nobody fights barehanded like you do. Lately, even pro gamers trying to hide their identities get discovered just because of their signature combat tics. A video was uploaded, and guess what? Our channel found this rookie's alt account. He was spotted tapping the floor twice with his foot before using his teleport ability, so there's no doubt it's our guy. Baejun casually replied, oh how observant of you. Now? And continued, you're lucky you agreed, otherwise that streamer would have been absolutely roasted by the community. And what's that got to do with me, he wondered aloud. That's not exactly a top priority for the people, who are currently having a full-blown meltdown over the hacking accusations. She replied, initially they were only targeting you, but they would have quickly switched their focus and aimed all that criticism at the person who invited you to stream. Baejun just nodded, is that so? All of a sudden on the surface of Baejun's glass, the reflection of Sujen appeared, and then a reply popped up, a message from Baejun, I'll participate. Sujen was flustered for a second, then said, all right. Her face was filled with sheer excitement. Excellent. On her screen, the viewer count for her channel was glowing. She was completely focused, knowing that with this much hype, this much red-hot hype, the number of viewers is bound to explode, right? Hehehe. Everyone get ready for a huge surprise because this is the first time in the history of Reverse Planet. The screen lit up announcing a special live broadcast to address the hacking allegations. Hello everyone, the man who's been the talk of the town recently regarding the hacking allegations against Mr. Baejun. His official explanation will begin after 4 days. Fast forward 4 days, Baejun was dressed in a pristine white outfit when someone called his name. Sujen ran up to him. You must have been under a lot of pressure these past few days. So stressful, wasn't it? I'm sorry for letting things get this out of hand. He shook his head. It's no big deal. I wasn't really bothered by it, but Miss Sujen, you didn't doubt me for a second. She replied awkwardly, ah yes, well, I saw it all with my own eyes that day. So all the evidence people brought up felt completely baseless. Besides, the look in your eyes at that moment looked like a deranged killer straight out of a manhwa, so I wouldn't dare to even think about it. She laughed nervously. It was just an instinct. Bai Jun looked completely blank. Instinct, huh? So that's what it was. Su Zhen opened her palm. If you're ready, shall we begin? Bai Jun replied, yes. Su Zhen flashed a brilliant smile. Hello everyone, you've all been waiting for this, haven't you? Comments immediately started flooding the chat. Annalie, it's starting. Explain, 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 explain. I've waited an eternity for this. Is this channel selling hacks now? Get out of here. Man, I gotta order some fried chicken to watch this drama unfold. If it really is a hack, then what's the point of explaining? I'm staying neutral and will wait for the final verdict. Sound was getting hyped. We've just started and there are already 10,000 viewers. This is seriously hot stuff. It seems a lot of people are interested in this debate. This time, huh? That's why I've personally invited Mr. Gu Hun to come back here. He spoke in a low voice. Hello, I'm B. Gu Hun. A comment popped up. This crazy hacker, look at how thick-skinned he is. Hacking your way to fame in a game, what's so fun about that? What's with the reaction in the chat? What if it's not a hack? You guys who still believe he's hacking need to be careful. You don't get brainwashed. You have to maintain a neutral stance until the official results are out. So in the end, is it a hacker? Not a hack. Sound got angry. Everyone please be polite in the comments. If it gets out of hand, I will lock the chat feature. Before we proceed with the verification, Mr. Gu Hun, what are your thoughts on this controversy? He hesitated. Well, I just feel it's meaningless for such a trivial matter to become such a huge topic of debate. Then a comment appeared. A trivial matter that shook the entire reverse time community, and you dare call it trivial. Spoken like a true top-ranked arena player hacking and still being so cocky. Sound looked at the screen and had to admit that calling it a trivial matter was a bit of an overstatement. A comment wondered, hey, so how are we going to explain this in the end? She replied, that's a good question. Today we have invited a special guest to conduct the verification live. A person suddenly appeared before their eyes. Hey, he's here. Jum Hun spoke up. Hello, I'm Park Jum Hun, head of operations team number 1 for Planet Earth Korea. A comment appeared. Who's that? Wow, they even invited an operator. Maybe it really isn't a hack. What's this? Is he a real person and not an imposter? He has the GM title displayed above his head that only operators from the main headquarters are allowed to have. This is insane, like a scene from a gaming manhwa. It's probably not a hack. What are all the people who claimed it was a hack going to do? Now Gu Hun thought to himself, the head of operations most likely knows everything that's going on. After the verification is over, I must ask him to get to the bottom of this. Sound bowed. Thank you for coming here. I'm the streamer. Kang Yun. The other guy also bowed. The name's Bei Jun. Jun Hun, ever so polite, replied, a pleasure to meet you. So this is the legendary Gu Xuan. He doesn't exactly scream final boss material, does he? Well then I shall guide you two gentlemen to the verification site. And just like that, poof, the trio teleported to a new location. Su Zhen was baffled. Where are we? Jun Hun explained. This is a personal training room. A place where you can practice your special abilities or just work on your combat skills, as we mentioned before. We will be monitoring several combat scenarios to confirm whether there's any interference from external programs. Gu Xuan must to himself, this space never existed in the other world I knew. It's like a bonus chapter in a manhwa. Jun Hun checked again. Are you okay with this procedure? Gu Xuan gave a firm nod. Yep, I'm all in. The moment he finished speaking, Jun Hun glanced to the side. A foot encased in pristine white armor slowly stepped forward. It was an Etnel, and it looked absolutely terrifying. The comment section exploded. Is that an intermediate version of the ETEL robot? No support items, and he's just using his first core ability. Is that even enough to beat a mid-tier training bot? I'm not that deep into the reverse planet lore. So can someone tell me if that robot is actually strong? Dude, it's leagues stronger than the one from the tutorial. Bei Jun's eyes darkened. We'll begin with the intermediate training robot. Suddenly, a dark aura flared to life around our hero. The peanut gallery went wild. Bei Jun, you're starting to scare me, man. Go get revenge for us. Gu Xuan Jun Hun. Jun Hun continued. In short, from this moment on, eliminate it. The ground suddenly began to tremble violently. Gu Xuan was standing there. And then he wasn't. The dude vanished in a flash. Junhoon flinched instinctively, raising his arm to shield himself as debris went flying everywhere. Rocks and shrapnel rained down on Junhoon as the two titans clashed. He was trying his best to block the fallout with his tablet. The comments were losing it. Is he seriously smashing an intermediate Etenel with his bare hands? That robot took a sledgehammer and didn't even get a scratch. Whoa, am I the only one who's totally freaking out right now? At that moment, Bei Jun was literally ripping the wires out of the Etel's head. What a madman. A notification popped up on the screen. No interference from any external programs detected. Xuan's face went grim. There was absolutely no way this could be dismissed as simple hacking or cheating. Xuan slowly coolly stepped down from the robot's back. He casually tells Jin Shun, all done. You seem a bit flustered there. Yeah, we couldn't detect any cheating programs in this battle, but your execution window was just a little too perfect. Could you perhaps fight using a method we specify? Gu Shun no DS. Sure, he figures this is their way of verifying he's not using some sneaky cheat software. Cheat software controls a character via scripts, so it can't fight exactly the way a player wants by predetermining the win condition and following that exact path. This is how you prove you're not using hacks. Jin Shun continues, thank you. For this round, please decapitate 3 mid-tier training bots with the chain scythe. Gu Shun no DS. Understood. Jin Shun's expression is priceless. What in the world, this task is ridiculously difficult. 3 bots appear. 3 Etenels step out simultaneously rushing right at Gu Shun, and nobody thinks he can possibly land a headshot. In the blink of an eye, the battle explodes with unbelievable speed. Gu Shun, already in a low stance with chain in hand, launches forward. The long chain becomes an extension of his will, masterfully controlled by Gu Shun as it lashes out at the Etenels. His pupils turn jet black, radiating a terrifying coldness. In a single moment, Gu Shun effortlessly fells all 3 Etenels. Song is ecstatic. I knew it, I've never seen anything like that before. This is peak Manhwa action right here. Everyone saw that right. The chain scythe moved as if it were a living creature. The comments start flooding in. What did I just watch? The chain is completely wrecked. Maybe the thing that's broken isn't the weapon, but the player. Exactly, a chain scythe is normally used for attacking nearby opponents. Jin Shun's expression is a mix of awe and embarrassment. We have enough data for verification. But as this game's administrator, my curiosity's getting the better of me. Could he possibly defeat an advanced training bot with just a single core element? Call me evil, but for the final test, a door suddenly slides open and an advanced Etenel steps out. Its eyes glow a menacing, vibrant red. Before them, the advanced Etenel struts out with a powerful, intimidating aura. The chat goes wild. Huh, he really brought that thing out. That's going too far. What a cold-blooded admin. If he wins this, he might just become known as a superhuman. Recognized by the National Certification Council, Etenel stared him down, announcing, "We will now commence verification using a training robot. An advanced one, the latest and greatest model of the advanced training robot." Hearing the name, Etenel Gu Shun's dark pupils suddenly seemed to freeze. He could see it clear as day. The Etenel before him had a body count higher than his credit score. All of a sudden, its face darkened, twisting into a sinister grin. Gu Shun gritted his teeth in fury, his eyes as sharp as daggers. Etenel suddenly lunged forward to attack. Moving at lightning speed, its arm sliced past, drawing blood from Gu Shun's cheek. Etenel then clenched its palm, preparing to throw a proper punch. It charged in, unleashing a relentless barrage of fists at Gu Shun. But every single one of its punches was just hitting thin air. Gu Shun's feet were planted firmly. As expected, this thing is on a whole other level than those mid-tier rust buckets. If I take just one clean hit, it's game over. And what's more, just as that thought finished, Gu Shun retaliated, slamming a punch right into Etenel's gut. His own hand trembled from the impact. Its hard shell is truly in another league. My attack was probably just an itch it couldn't scratch. Etenel was practically unfazed and coldly launched a counterattack of its own. Gu Shun ducked low, thinking, if that's how it is, I'll just keep attacking. continuously until one of its parts breaks down. Ren Sun and Suo Zan watched from the sidelines, completely stunned. Comments started popping up. I have to say this is absolutely insane. How is that possible? Now I'm the one getting scared. One hit should have been enough to end his career. But he hasn't taken a single blow, Ren Sun thought to himself. I can't believe he's actually going head to head with an advanced robot. Using just a single core element, he even looked like he was at a disadvantage at first, but now he seems to have seized the upper hand. This fight scene is better than any action. Manhwa Renshun's fingers moved across the screen. There's no point in watching any further. Suddenly, Etnal, who was standing right in front of Gu Shun, vanished into thin air. He announced loudly, "We have collected enough data for this verification, so I have removed the training robot." Gu Shun simply nodded. Got it. No wonder Suo Zan was smiling as she asked, "So what's the verdict, Ren?" Zun explained, "We've confirmed that no external interference programs were logged. In other words, he is not using hacks." The comments exploded. Wait, it's not a hack? How even the administrator has confirmed it. It's official breaking news for all you haters who accused him from the start. The post accusing him of using hacks has been deleted. Sun was ecstatic. Heck yeah! See, I told you he wasn't using hacks, and you guys still doubted him. The comments are flooding in, and now, nobody's got a single doubt left. How are you going to argue against the admin's official statement with your flimsy little theories? Even the trolls are tucking their tails and running. And look at our boy, he seems even more pumped than before. I've seen plenty of so-called hacked physique players before, but this guy is a true monster with a legit cheat-level build. A real one at that, Su Yun chuckled. Hacked physique. I like the sound of that. Everyone remember this well. Gu Shun doesn't use hacks, he's just so ridiculously talented that it looks like he's cheating. Since the verification is complete, could you two share a few words? Gu Shun looked a little flustered. Thank you, you've worked hard. Ji Hun gave an awkward laugh. It was fun. The viewer count was through the roof. That's all for today's stream. See you all next time. The chat exploded. That guy is totally thinking about milking this for content. Seriously, I just got here. I thought this stream was only to clear his name. But man, today's stream was legendary, straight out of a manhwa. Bye bye bye, Su Yun spoke up. Thank you for agreeing to appear on the broadcast today. Ji-hun bowed slightly. No, I should be thanking you for accepting my request. For verification, especially you Gu Shun. Our boy just shook his head. It was nothing. Ji-hun's expression was hard to read. He said, "It was nothing. How odd. Well then I'll be off." Suddenly, Gu Shun cut in. Wait a moment. He looked straight at the admin. There's something I want to ask. Ji-hun looked surprised. What is it? His face was a mask of curiosity. Are there any bugs in the game, for example? A situation where a player can't log out because of a bug. Ji-hun explained, I've never heard of anything like that. If a bug like that existed, Ripple wouldn't be a global sensation. Gu Shun fell silent. I see. I understand. Ji-hun vanished in a flash. Well, I'm really leaving now. The surroundings grew quiet once again. Finally, it's over. Gu Shun, you did an amazing job today. Oh, right, I'll calculate the stream revenue and I'll get in touch with you next time, okay? He replied, I don't need a cut of the money, but sure, let me know when you need me. Su Yun looked absolutely gobsmacked. Letting him walk away just like that would be such a waste. A walking, talking, content-generating goldmine was right in front of her. Gu Shun asked softly, Miss, what's she getting at? Sozun thought to herself. No, I can't just ask him to stream again. He only showed his face today to clear his name. I guess I'll have to give up. So I'll contact you next time, okay? I got way less than I hoped for. What a total letdown. A message popped up from Neon. Morning session's over, right? Get your butts to the battle prep room. Now, how hyped is Neon? Was the stream totally lit, or what the internet's reaction was? Absolutely explosive. It blew up completely. Guan replied, I don't think that's my style. Watching the chat while playing a game and talking at the same time just isn't my jam. She stammered. Is that so? Well, how about this? What if you didn't have to pay any attention to the chat and could just focus on playing. That'd be fine, right? I'll set everything up for you. Just try it once, and then decide, okay. He thought to himself, nope, I just don't want my face on camera. Neon hit a button and a PvP orb appeared. Over their heads, let's throw down in some PvP player versus player. These are the epic clashes between players that form one of the two main pillars of content in Reverse Planet, alongside PvE, player versus environment. Guan was confused. PvP, so that's why you dragged me to the prep room. Sozun nodded. You bet you weren't seriously planning on ditching without even trying. Ripple's PvP were you. My heart is broken. He hesitated. No, it's just, I figured it wasn't for me, so I wasn't planning on it. Going back to that other world just doesn't sit right with me. She stared him down. PvP is the very soul of Ripple Don't. You dare judge it by the tutorial alone, Gun thought. She's got a point. The PvP story mode plays out just like a manhwa, almost identical to that other world. But I've never tried actual PvP before. Surely it has to be different, right? He said nonchalantly. All right, I'll give it a shot. Sozun grinned. Perfect, let me break it down for you. First up in PvP is the duel. It's basically one player, matched against another. There are two flavors, solo 1 versus 1 and duo 2 versus 2. You win by taking 2 out of 3 rounds. Next is objectives. You've got 4 maps, Domination Escort, Capture the Flag, and Annihilation. You pick one of those modes and battle it out 5 versus 5, in a match with a fixed team. And what we're doing today is Survival 100 players are dropped. All over the map, they've got to scramble for gear by farming and get ready to fight. The last person or team standing is the winner. To win this battle royale, since it is your first time, just stick to team mode and PvP. You will need an optimal gear set. I can suggest one. Baigu Hyun shook his head. No need, I already know the best build, the one that turned me into a superhero in my past life. I will start recording while you prepare to log in. Nayan watched attentively. All right, I am getting ready now. The drop zone has to be the military base, that is the rule. The military base, one of the battlegrounds in PvP survival mode, a place packed with high-tier gear, usually overrun by hordes of high-level players, which makes this place a death trap for newbies. Oh, would you mind if I recorded this little PvP session of yours? I want to upload it to YouTube. Please say yes. Baigu Hyun just stared blankly. Get lost. All right, calm down, man. Why is she so hyper? Nayan's finger hit the start button. Okay, I am logging in right now. The system announced select a starting point. Military base sector 1, time before match starts 60 seconds. Nayan put a hand on her forehead. Let us meet again, alive and well, teammate. Baigu Hyun was now standing behind a man. He gritted his teeth. There is someone on the 3rd floor and over here. There is nothing. Baigu Hyun's arm silently reached out from behind. I need to move to another location. Back in the real world, Nayan's phone started buzzing. A message popped up. Baigu Hyun eliminated Lucky Day. She was shocked the game just started and he already got a kill. His hacked stats are just on another level. The notifications kept flooding in. Baigu Hyun eliminated High Rice Bow, eliminated Lel Jun, eliminated Chicken. East Love eliminated Jin Hua Un, eliminated Wei Jan, eliminated Park Jong-ju. Nayan was stunned. She got scared. What the heck is Baigu Hyun doing? The man on screen was being electrocuted in excruciating pain. A notification popped up. Baigu Hyun eliminated Slim Monster. He thought to himself, it seems I can no longer sense other players now. Is this guy the only survivor around? Here I did not expect to run into 4 people at the same time like that. Since I have finished farming, I guess I should head out. A voice message from Nayan appeared. Baigu Hyun, help me. It is too crowded here, I am surrounded. He was surprised. Nayan. Baigu Hyun's finger moved across the screen. The opposite area is quite far. His position appeared. I am on my way. Which part of the building are you in? Nayan replied, 3rd floor rooftop, but the lower floors are an insane war zone. This entire manhwa is wild. It looks like everyone is fighting to the death on the floors below. Someone's picking a fight, be careful. And just like that, Xuan is off like a rocket. Okay, he's charging straight at 2 dudes up ahead. Men. What now? The bespectacled man completely freaks out. What in the world was that? How is he moving that fast? His buddy beside him is already shaking in his boots. Hey, get ready, I'll hold them off. Gushun's hand is a blur as he whips a dagger from his hip. He lunges forward, easily taking one guy down with insane speed. The glasses-wearing dude panics as his ally gets deleted. Hold on, what the hell, a system notification pops up. Gushun has eliminated Rhea of the Tiger. The bespectacled man gets furious. He's a physical attacker equipped with an attack speed buff. He summons some kind of power from the ground and screams, "Die, butt!" Gushun leaps into the air in a flash, his eyes turning pitch black. The guy looks up in furious disbelief. You fool! Gushun doesn't hesitate for a second, landing with his now bloodied blade. And another? System notification: Gushun has eliminated Tyrannosaurus baby. A blue light appears on the back of the man lying on the ground. System notification: Gushun has eliminated Chesty. Gushun has eliminated B Chicken. Gushun now stands before a door. I'm in front of the building. Nuan replies over the comms, "Really, I'll come give you a hand." His palm closes around the doorknob. No need. Just wait there. Gushun pauses, staring at the doorknob for a second. A dark aura emanates from it. This Manhwa is getting intense. Something's not right. Gushun swings the door open, revealing a man hiding right behind it. The guy has a sinister grin, a knife hidden behind his back. But Gushun's hand shoots out and clamps down on the attacker's wrist. The guy's eyes go wide as he stares at his trapped arm. Gushun uses his other fist to slam right into the man's gut. A notification pops up. Gushun has eliminated Slim Monster. That should do it, he thinks to himself. Although maybe I should be a little faster. In the blink of an eye, Gushun is a blur, speeding up the staircase as notifications start spamming. Gushun has eliminated Haza. Gushun has eliminated Big Parents Freemsnack and Dente. Meanwhile, Nuan is just staring at the system window. What the heck? Again, Gushun is absolutely dominating everyone else. Suddenly her eyes narrow and she snaps her head around, looking behind her. Nuan swings her sword with full force only for Gushun to casually dodge it. Whoa there, you scared the life out of me, I didn't even know. You were standing right there. At this rate, you're going to rack up 14 kills all by yourself. Gushun just scowls. Did I even need to be here? Nuan just chuckles. Did you already wipe out every enemy in this building? She then eyes his weapon curiously. What about it? Nuan awkwardly fumbled around. Alright, I'm not tapping out. Let me handle the rest of this match. Gushun just sighed. Yeah, fine. The system promptly announced Game Over, Duo Survival Mode, Final Result. Rank 1 out of 50. Gushun 25,000 points. 7 kills, 0 deaths. Dion. 7,000 damage, 15 assists, 0 deaths. The notifications just kept flooding in. Now Anne was completely floored. I can't believe it, we won 10 straight matches in a single session. That's enough for today, my brain is fried. Gushun nodded. Yeah, now, Anne is one determined guy, it's obvious. He's just a normal college kid, but my friend here is a literal living weapon. I absolutely have to get him to stream with me. I have to make it happen. Can you hold off on your main quest for just 2 days? I'll bring over a detailed plan for our broadcast. Gushun shot back, I told you I'm not interested. And it's not like I was dead set on doing that main quest. Or whatever. Now on pressed on, just hear me out. I'll prepare everything meticulously. See you later. After Now on left, Gushun lowered his head, lost in thought. So even PvP didn't give me the proof I needed, he mused. Meanwhile, in a lavish high-rise apartment under a quiet night sky, Su-yun was lounging in bed, scrolling through her phone with a massive grin. The reverse time community was buzzing. General chat topic: 27 reasons why I think Hexter Lot needs to go pro. General chat topic. Something I seriously realized while watching today's verification stream. Anyone whining about high-level combat mechs in this manhwa needs to get in here. 42 replies. Another thread. Try breaking this defense line. 245 replies of pure laughter. General chat topic. But seriously, wasn't Kang Xuan kinda cute? Su-yun was so excited she started rolling around on her bed. This is amazing, absolutely. Amazing 100,000 viewers. Will I ever see a number like that again in my streaming career? It's like something out of a hit manhwa. If only I could keep streaming with Gu Shun, I should have been a little more persistent. Cue the flashback to Gu Shun's polite refusal. Sorry, but I have no interest in being on camera. Su Yun thought to herself, I wasn't firm enough. No wait, I was just too formal from the get-go, at least. I should have offered to handle his appearance fee, I wonder how much it'll be. Her eyes practically bulged out of her skull. Huh. What in the world is this? The very next day at a coffee shop, Gu Shun broke the silence. So what's with the sudden call? He stared in disbelief at the thing on the laptop screen. What is this monstrosity? Now Anne just laughed heartily. What do you think I pulled an all-nighter making this presentation just to convince you today? Gu Shun just stared blankly. This is the quality of the thing you lost sleep over. Now Anne continued, I am just saying, as long as the chat doesn't throw you off your game, it's fine, right? If you don't have to pay attention to the chat and just focus on playing, you'd be cool with it, wouldn't you? Gu Shun replied, who said I'd be cool with it? She pressed on, anyway, what do you think about a reaction-style show? He was puzzled. A reaction show? You know, like one of those popular reality TV commentary programs. The kind where a bunch of guests sit in a studio and watch someone else's recordings. You play the game, and I'll be the one reacting and interacting. If the two of us aren't enough, we can even bring in a professional commentator. I'll give you a 60-40 split of the profits. How's that sound? That's a ridiculously good deal. Gu Shun just stared blankly. I already told you I'm not interested. Na Eon pressed on, hold on, I bet you have no clue how much cash streamers actually pull in. It's like something out of a hit manhwa. No wait, actually. Weren't you supposed to settle things with Kang Soo Jen today? Gu Shun picked up his phone. Ah right, I got an email this morning. I was in such a rush to meet you that I didn't even check it. His fingers tapped the screen. The subject line read, Gu Shun a deal for you, this is Stream Kim. He hesitated. The sender was Kang Soo Jen. Hello Gu Shun, this is streamer Kang Soo Jen. As promised, I'm sending you the commission from the other day. 6 million won. Please reply with your bank account information, okay. P.S. There was a pretty hilarious donation message. I'll forward that to you as well. Na-eun's jaw dropped. 6 million won, and you still don't want to be on camera. Gu Shun was pondering the donation when suddenly his eyes froze. Displayed on the screen was a message from Anonymous Viewer 62. Hello Gu Shun, it's a pleasure to see you again. How does it feel to be back? In fact, a new special mission has been prepared just for you. I'll be watching your streams from now on. Gu Shun's mind raced. They know I'm from the other world and that username, it's clearly targeting me. Test subject number 62. He slammed the table and shot up. Who is that? They know I'm back. Can you track the info on that donation? Na Eun was baffled. Whoa, what's with the sudden urgency? No way, the terms of service forbid that. You can't directly message them either. The only way to interact is through a live stream. Gu Shun's eyes sharpened. I'll do it. She was stunned. Huh. Gu Shun stated coldly, I said I'll do the live stream. Na Eun broke into a huge grin. For real, you better not go back on your word. Everything. The cafe fell into a sudden, eerie silence. But then a notification pinged to life. Notice number 204120. Hot off the press. The legendary Hexel is making an appearance on a private broadcast. Mark your calendars for August 2nd, 2041 at 7 p.m. sharp. The Ultimate Game Hacking Secrets livestream is about to premiere featuring special guest Hexel and hosted by Chaejan Yoon and Jong Na Yoon. It's a golden Friday night. A perfect time to kick back and chill. Everyone was buzzing with their own wild expectations, especially the proud self-proclaimed pro gamers. All of them gathered in front of their computers united with one heart and one mind. The reverse team community was told to please, for the love of all that is holy, follow the community rules. Are there only 5 minutes left? I heard his dad is some big shot tournament commentator for To Chung. Is he even any good, old man? What happens if the hacker doesn't show up? I've already rewatched the broadcast 5 times, and who in the world is Jong Na Yun anyway? Is she that streamer who's rumored to be friends with Hexel? My post just went up, anyone else waiting with their fried chicken already ordered. I'll start without you guys. Then LOL, the hype for Hexel's broadcast is off the charts just 5 minutes before showtime at the Reverse Planet Broadcasting Studio. Inside Reverse Planet. Nayun was starting to get cold feet. It's almost time, I'm getting so nervous, she squeaked. Che-Jan-Yun, on the other hand, was practically vibrating with excitement. Don't worry about a thing, he beamed. We've prepared for everything, so there won't be any issues. This was Che-Jan-Yun, the professional commentator for Reverse Planet. Even though I was a nervous wreck when I first got the invitation to commentate, I never in my wildest dreams thought that someone other than Su Jun could actually convince Hexel to show up. Na Yun just giggled. The second I told him I was a friend of Gu Yun, he immediately agreed to make an appearance. All of a sudden, the live screen lit up. It was time for the broadcast. Che-Jan-Yun cleared his throat dramatically. Yes, Na Yun began. Hello everyone, I'm Jong Na Yun. Che-Jan-Yun also sat up straight. It's a great honor to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Che-Jan-Yun. The comment section instantly exploded. It's live, it's finally happening. Wait, what is this? Where's Hexel? Bring him out. Bring him out. Bring him out. Na Yun grinned mischievously. It seems many of you are confused because Hexel isn't here from the get-go. But let me tell you, it's far too early to be disappointed. Just then Gu Yun's avatar appeared on the screen. Hexel is already in the game. The chat went absolutely berserk. There he is. Whoever called this a scam can get out now. Look at his avatar. The way he spins that knife is so cool, straight out of an action manhwa. Oh man, now I'm getting really worried. Privacy protection mode is on. Therefore, I will turn off private chat. As you can see, folks, the hacked playthrough content will be presented as a reality observation show. We will be giving our live reactions and commentary while watching Hackle1 play the game. I bet you're all dying to know how Hackle1 tackles ZPL. Nayo An chuckled and said, well then, shall we get this show on the road? A message screen popped up. A message from inside Neon Proceed. Jun's finger decisively pressed the button on his walkie-talkie. It's starting, a voice said on the other end. A message from the Bureau of Otherworldly Management appeared. Rescue the survivors so they can safely escape the forest and join us. A system notification for the main quest followed. Join the Bureau of Otherworldly Management, evade the guards who are searching for the escaped test specimen, and join the Bureau of Otherworldly Management, which is located outside the forest. Jun thought to himself, just like last time in that world, I was constantly busy just running away. He abruptly stopped that train of thought. This time, Jun braced himself, took a deep breath, and let out a massive shout. Two players in the distance were drawn in by that roar. They spun around instantly, assuming a battle-ready stance. The two of them charged forward together. There he is, surround him from three sides. Jun quickly reached behind his back and grabbed his chain. His pupils turned a menacing pitch black, just like a dark manhwa protagonist. All of you. Jun's arms swung in a single motion, taking out several enemies. Will die. The others relentlessly fired their guns at him, but the chain was manipulated with masterful skill. Finally, the chain closed in on one of the guns. A blood-curdling scream echoed through the forest, followed by a massive explosion. They charged forward with swords drawn, rushing right at us. Perish. The chain began to whip around, circling its target. The chain's links connected with terrifying tightness. Both of them were now bound together completely. The chain was swinging with incredible powerful force. Jun's hand unceremoniously slammed the two of them into the ground, leaving them dazed and spitting up blood. He didn't hesitate for a second, leaping down on top of them. Jun's eyes were pitch black. There he is, that pest, don't let him escape. Jun closed his eyes behind his mask, looking a little drained. Now An's jaw dropped. This isn't the player I know. Xuan chimed in. In all my time commentating, this is the first time I've ever seen a playstyle like this, just gathering all the enemies with absolutely no strategy whatsoever. A comment popped up, the existence of a hack is the strategy itself, especially when you're too lazy to find a real one. Xian chimed in. In all my years as a commentator, I have never seen a playstyle quite like this, just herding all the enemies together. Without a single thought for strategy, a comment popped up. Hey, just existing as a cheat code is the strategy, when you're too lazy to think. A sword is to make the enemy come to you, that's just common sense, right? I'm starting to reconsider my assumption that he only takes down enemies he happens to bump into. I thought he'd gone completely bonkers when he started screaming. I was doing something else, and had to switch tabs to see what was up after that jump scare. LOL, the system pops up. My Loveka has donated 50,000 won. Isn't the absolute entity a little too overpowered? What kind of skill has zero cooldown? Naan says, what do you think about the argument that the absolute entity is too broken? Cha-on replies, I can confidently say that it's not that overpowered. Most skills have their own cooldown timers, which is why Xuan's character build, which uses core elements without cooldowns, can look like a total cheat code. But since Absolute Entity only amplifies physical abilities, it doesn't improve his combat intelligence or weapon proficiency, and Xuan is playing without any system assistance, right? To put it a bit extremely, it means if Xuan had high enough physical stats, he could pull off the same moves in real life. Absolute Entity is this effective because Xuan is the one using it. Xuan's two pitch-black pupils were still focused as more people appeared shouting as they surrounded him. He was standing amidst the bodies of those he'd already taken down. Jin Tian Captain from the Otherworld Management Bureau, we're from the Otherworld Management Bureau, drop your weapon and surrender peacefully. The Otherworld Management Bureau, a government agency specializing in conquering the invasive entities that come through the spatial gates. They mainly trap and subjugate dangerous invasive entities inside the inverted world where dimensions are all jumbled up. Xuan raises his arms. Director Jin Tian, oh wait, guess he's a captain. Now I didn't expect to see him here. Jin Tian was slightly taken aback. Those clothes? You're an escaped victim from the laboratory. I apologize for this rude approach. Everyone stand down. Xuan replied. It's fine, Jin Tian continued. But that radio, an agent inside the lab gave it to me. He sighed. He must have passed away. Xuan thought to himself, Captain Jin Tian is still the same good-hearted person from the other world. This feels like a classic Manhwa trope. Jin Tian continued, in that case, please remain with the Otherworld Management Bureau until your identity can be confirmed. Xuan gave a curt nod. Fine by me, he replied. Thanks for playing nice, let me show you the way. And just like that, a system notification dinged. Main quest, join the Bureau of Otherworldly Management, complete. You have leveled up, you have received 1 strength point at that moment. As the afternoon sun cast a golden glow over the Bureau of Otherworldly Management's headquarters, Xuan sat alone in a room. Is this the Bureau's legendary consultation room? I never thought I'd end up in a place like this. After busting out of that hellish lab in the other world, I took on any request I could get. Requests from shady corporations to build up my revenge fund. The job descriptions included things like assassination and kidnapping, but the bulk of my work was me going all out fighting monsters and conquering those inverted worlds. The big corporations would recklessly clear out those dimensions for loot. This is classic Manhwa plot progression. And once they decided the loot wasn't worth the risk anymore, they'd just dump the messy cleanup job on yours truly. It was only a matter of time before I got tangled up with the Bureau of Otherworldly Management. Sometimes we'd cooperate on conquests, but there were also plenty of times we had serious disagreements and pointed swords at each other's throats. Suddenly, a voice cut him off. Hello, Mr. Xuan, I am Li Juchen, an agent from Team 1 of the Bureau of Otherworldly Management. A comment flashed on screen. Whoa, it's Sister Jujen. Her beauty is definitely in the top 3 of the entire JPL. Xuan tensed up a bit. Li Jujen smiled. It's a pleasure, she said as she started to pull up a chair. You've been through a lot to get here. Li Juchen cut right to the chase. You now have 2 options, Mr. Xuan. First, you can live as a regular civilian under the Bureau's protection. In this scenario, using your powers is absolutely forbidden. And your second option is to become an agent of the Bureau of Otherworldly Management. Of course, in the latter case, you won't be acting as an official agent immediately. You'll receive the proper training and will be deployed only when we deem you're ready for action. Suddenly, Xuan's face darkened. Back in the other world, I even took down one of the Bureau's agents, and now I'm supposed to become their colleague. The irony was thicker than a brick. A slight blush crept onto Li Jujen's cheeks. So will you choose to be a civilian or an agent? Xuan's hands clasped together. I will. The viewers were going wild. The comments were furious. Don't you dare stop the broadcast here. If I choose the civilian life, I'll just end up taking dirty jobs from the corporations again, just like before. I'm not going down that path now that I'm here. I will become an agent of the Bureau of Otherworldly Management. Li Juzhen's face lit up with excitement. You made the right choice. Having you join us will be a tremendous help, Mr. Gu Xun. Lately, these corporations have been constantly recruiting the awakened. It's a real problem in every manhwa. Awakened, so we are seriously short-staffed. And I am not just saying that because I am an agent for the Management Bureau. A lot of people really regret signing on with those big corporations. I mean, those companies are basically startups when it comes to training, so their experience and skills in nurturing newly awakened is pretty much zero. On the flip side, the Otherworld Management Bureau is a legacy institution with a long storied history and tons of experience. We have got a rich track record of raising powerful awakened and kicking alternate world butt. Sure, the corporations might offer better pay, but it comes with a whole lot more danger. Gu Shun thought to himself, she is not wrong, plenty of awakened have kicked the bucket on corporate missions. Some of those shady outfits do not even bother to pay up, and I literally had to carve open their bellies to get my cash. That whole fiasco blew my cover as an unregistered awakened, which is why the Otherworld Management Bureau had me on their watch list for a while. Come to think of it, that is when I first met Bureau Chief Jin Qian. Lu Zhen continued, all right, then I will have the tech team get you officially registered as an awakened, Mr. Gu Shun. She handed him a work phone, he took it and asked, so what is the first step? She explained, like I said, you will start as a trainee, we will need to verify your skills. And once we have seen what you can do, you will get promoted and assigned to a team. Lu Zhen then added with emphasis, it would be awesome if we ended up on the same squad. Gu Shen stood up and replied, honestly, I would like that too. Besides, I still owe Jen a favor, even though we have clashed a few times since then. Li Yuzhen mentioned sending something to the innocent victims who were trapped in that research lab. He remembered how, thanks to Li Yuzhen leading the assault on the research institute, he and his buddies managed to survive. She shook his hand, saying, from now on, I will be in your care, Junior. Gu Shun replied, please guide me well, Senior. Na Yuan looked shocked. Hold on a minute, you guys, is not this a little weird? NPCs are not supposed to talk like this. This isn't your typical manhwa plot. Now Yuan remembered asking before if it was possible to change routes mid-game. Lu Zhen had replied, civilian or agent, which will you choose? Na Yan fumed, hey, the Lu Zhen I met was not like this at all. Che Zhangquan trembled. No way, who is this person? Is this a total personality swap? A comment popped up, RP. This game is on another level, isn't it? It can even do this. What the heck is a fully reactive AI? Mr. Cha started to explain. A fully reactive AI is a special type of NPC that can respond flawlessly to every single situation and request. Unlike your average NPC, it can. The NPCs are communicating like they're actual people. That kind of tech is a massive resource hog. Most experts say it's impossible to integrate into an online game. Najun chimed in, maybe the developers completely solved the resource problem. Che Shiweng shot that down, no way. If they had, they'd be shouting it from the rooftops. My guess is this super advanced AI only kicks in when a very specific condition is met. And that condition is probably starting the game with 0 support settings. It's the only thing that separates our hacker bro from every other player. The system literally says his combat support is at 0%. Nyan laughed nervously. You're really going for it, huh? The forums are gonna absolutely explode when they figure this out. Che Ziweng nodded grimly. Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting any sleep tonight, waiting to see how Planet Earth's devs respond. Anyone following his personal storyline is going to be hooked. This is more dramatic than my favorite manhwa. We might even be able to get some big shot guest commentators on the show for this. So is that a wrap for the story segment for today? Na-en replied, yep, we hope everyone will tune in for the next chapter of his adventure. Now it's time to switch gears to some PvP action. A comment popped up in the chat. No, don't stop here. How are we supposed to wait until the next stream? I can't take it. Meanwhile, in the matchmaking lobby, Gu Xuan was thinking to himself, anonymous viewer 62 still hasn't Shown up, huh? He remembered telling his friend back at the PC cafe, hey, if you see any donations or comments from anonymous viewer ID 62, you gotta let me know immediately. I don't care what's happening, just tell me. Nah, Anne had nodded. Yeah, I got it. Xuan thought to himself. Since I haven't heard from Naan, I guess I'll just have to keep the stream going. A system message from Xuan popped up. Ready. Na Jun smiled brightly. All right, folks, let's get this PvP party started. Today's main event is right in front of Xuan, a massive matchmaking orb. This is actually Hacker Bro's first time ever playing the ranked duel mode. Che Siweng added, in that case he'll have to start with placement matches. For our viewers who might not know, there are a total of 8 tiers in Reverse Planet, and to even get into the first tier bronze, you have to win 10 placement matches. Statistically, the average player takes about 2 hours to do this, while professional players usually knock it out in about 30 minutes. A viewer commented, so that's why it took me a week. I'm below average. This game has a lot of trolls and smurfs, so getting lucky with your matchups is a huge factor. Suddenly, a notification popped up on Xuan's screen, mission reach bronze tier. Within 30 minutes, reward 500,000 won. Najin was practically bouncing in his seat. Whoa. A message just came in from Na, and it says, hey, that's insane. A mission. The first quest has arrived. Can you win 10 consecutive matches in 30 minutes? The comments started rolling in. Whoa, so confident. You think being a pro is that easy? If that's not arrogance, I don't know what is. Another guy, Neon, chimes in. Well, this is certainly intriguing. Isn't it? John Qian nods in agreement. Yep, will our main man Goon actually succeed? You'll have to stick around to the end to find out. A notification pops up. Matchmaking for a PvP duel, normal singles match successful. Location residential area 6, 10 seconds before the first round begins. Suddenly, one of the spectators leans forward in shock. Huh. He's using a weapon I've never seen before. Goon is already in a ready stance. Little did they know, his opponent, the guy in black, was thinking it's a close combat build. Just get in close and it's an easy win. Oh, how badly he underestimated our protagonist. The countdown begins. Match 1, start. The man starts summoning his power, yelling, Ice Blast! A long scar runs right down the middle of his face, but Goon's body moves with unbelievable speed, appearing right behind the man in black. In just a fleeting moment, his opponent's body is utterly obliterated. System notification. Match 1 has ended. Winner Goon, loser's record hidden. Current score Buxian 1, system notification. The next match starts and the new guy just shouts, oh no, it's this insect again. I surrender, system notification. Anonymous has surrendered, the duel is over. Final winner Goon, final loser Anonymous, system notification. The next match begins and Goon is relentlessly parrying with his sword. The opponent's face twists in fear as he yells, my darkness. But before he can even finish the sentence, Guan effortlessly takes him down. System notification current record. Buxian 20, Melon Brad, final winner. Buxian, final loser, Melon Brad, system notification. Guan enters his third match. A massive guy also appears with a long scar on his face. And he's dead. System notification current record. Buxian 20, Guan PCK eats dry grass. Final winner Gun. Final loser Guan PCK eats dry grass. The guy in the fourth match didn't have an easy time either. You could say, the system feed just kept rolling. 11 minutes ago, victory. Normal PvP duel 2-0. 8 minutes ago, victory. Normal PvP duel 1-0. 6 minutes ago, duel 2-0. 3 minutes ago, duel 2-0. Neon and Zhan Qian were absolutely stunned by this Manhwa-like performance. The time it took Buxian to win 10 consecutive matches was just 20 minutes. And on top of that, his body was completely unscathed, not a single. With barely a scratch, system notification Gu Hyun has been promoted to bronze rank. Na An just stares slack-jawed. Whoa, seriously, how should I put this? I kind of feel left in the dust now. Cha Sung lets out an awkward chuckle. 10 consecutive wins in just 20 minutes. The comments section is already blowing up. What in the actual heck is this guy for real? I know, right? It's like he's a living cheat code from some OP Manhwa smashing records left and right. To put it simply, the man is a god. Cha Sung continues, the time itself is completely absurd, but what's even more mind-blowing is his match performance. Normally, when you face a counter skill or a high-risk opponent, your gameplay gets all shaky and inconsistent. The interviewer waves his hand dismissively. For example, I really struggle against fire-type skills. He adds, but our boy it doesn't matter what kind of crazy skills his opponent pulls out, he maintains a flawless performance completely, unflinching throughout the entire match. It's like the more he fights, the more hyped he gets. Just then, a notification pops up. Pinecone has donated 500,000 won. Whoa, how is that even possible? Na-An squeals, thanking Pinecone for the donation. This is getting so exciting, I can't wait to see what he pulls off. In his next ranked match, Cha Sung just smiles. Me neither, but I'm also a little worried. Puzzled, she asks, why's that? He explains, well, since he's broadcasting live, he's a prime target for stream snipers, but whatever. The chances of them succeeding aren't that high anyway. Hopefully I'm just worrying for nothing. The comment section is already buzzing if he sets a flag when a system notification dings. PvP dual mode matchmaking, successful arena area 11 the graveyard. A new challenger appears. Oh, perfect. Finally, I get to face this shameless punk X. Everybody watch closely now. You're about to see your boy here teach this so-called hacker a lesson. The chat goes wild. No way did he get stream sniped the second he ranked up. What's he gonna do? This is the legendary hacker X we're talking about. Haha, you all see this. This is the average skill level of these bottom feeders. The devs swear he's not hacking, but these guys are just relentless. Gu Hyun's face darkens as he gets ready to draw his sword. Cha Sung comments, wow brother, he isn't even flinching at the trash talk. Na-An replies, I told him if he ever ran into someone like this to just ignore them. A blush creeps onto her cheeks. And besides, Cha Sung cuts in, it's starting. A system announcement rings out. Round 1 begin. Suddenly Leo's body convulses in agony as he lets out a scream. He's launched into the air by a brilliant flash of light. An ecstatic look crosses Leo's face as he bellows, die! The comment section is ruthless. He didn't land a single hit, talked all that smack about teaching a lesson, and got schooled instead. Who's your daddy now? All talk, no walk. Gu Hyun sidesteps, thinking he seemed awfully confident, so I made sure to be on my guard. His arm swung the blade through Leo in a flash, but it was just for show. A system notification popped up. Round 1 is over. Winner Gu Hyun, loser, some nobody. The current score stands at Gu Hyun 1, nobody 0. Leo, his face a mask of agony, slowly muttered, you a monster. The system, ever the party pooper, announced the next round will begin immediately. Round 2 starts in 10 seconds. Leo gritted his teeth. At this rate, I'm gonna lose again, he fumed. I have to use that. And right on cue, the system declared round 2 begin. All over his body, currents of electricity began to crackle. A powerful surge of lightning erupted right in front of Gu Hyun. What's this? The electricity coursing through the guy's body suddenly blasted a nearby rock to smithereens. Sharper and stronger than before, Gu Hyun noted internally, he's moving more efficiently like a totally different person. Leo roared with excitement, see that you hacker. He unleashed a barrage of attacks on Gu Hyun. I was just going easy on you in the first round. Gu Hyun crossed his arms, shielding his face. So that's his game. Meanwhile, Na Yan spoke up. I remember now. If you meet a provocateur who calls you a hacker, she had said with a smirk, just crush him. That's what I told him. At that moment, Gu Hyun's pupils turned pitch black. Suddenly, an immense power began radiating from his body. What the? The atmosphere suddenly shifted. No, there's no reason to be scared, Leo thought. Everyone can see that I have the overwhelming advantage. Leo charged forward, screaming, stop trying to look so cool. With a nimble leap, Gu Hyun was already out of the way. He gracefully slid his blade past the guy's body. Leo's eyes went wide as he froze in place, completely unable to react. Furious, he spun around. And once again, the blade ghosted past Leo's arm. He threw a punch, channeling all his power into his fist. Without a moment's hesitation, Gu Hyun swung his sword back in an overhead arc. All Leo could do was stare at the ground, gritting his teeth as tears streamed down his face. The monitor continued to broadcast the one-sided beatdown. Na Yan chuckled nervously. Well, I'm sure it's not what it looks like, everyone. Cha Sung, equally stunned, stammered, yes. Na Yan continued, it seems he's deliberately avoiding the finishing blow, isn't he? Cha Sung replied, I think you're right. The godly mechanic is really taking your advice to heart, Ms. Na Yan, quite thoroughly. She let out an awkward laugh. Well, yes, I did tell him to crush the guy completely, but just then comments started flooding in. A monster created by Na Yan. What a terrifying woman. This whole fight scene is like something out of a brutal manhwa, and it's all because Na Yan gave him that advice. I'm terrified of what she'll advise him to do next. Back in the arena, Leo collapsed to his knees. What kind of thing are you? What about it, Gu Hyun said coldly. I'll return those words right back to you. And with that, his blade finally swung down, ending the round. The system announced the final score: Gu Hyun 2 nameless 0. Victory Gu Hyun, loser nameless. Afterwards, Gu Hyun continued his unstoppable winning streak and immediately blazed past 30 consecutive wins. Na-eon exclaimed, he's already reached gold rank. Cha Seong-jan added, I never imagined he'd set a record-breaking 30-win streak on his very first broadcast. The comments exploded. I was literally holding my breath watching that. Now that's what I call a god-tier player. Dude, what did you eat to get so strong? This is the kind of stuff you only see in a manhwa. Can you show us your build? Please. Na-eon thought to herself, most players are super cagey about revealing their builds, but should I ask him anyway? A message popped up. Gu Hyun. By the way, would you be willing to reveal your build? If you don't want to, you can, of course. Refuse, he replied, sure. Why not? Na-eon announced, everyone, the god of mechanics says he will reveal his build. I'll compile it and post it on the community boards after the broadcast. Cha Seong-jan was stunned. For real, comments flooded in, is he actually revealing his build? I only asked hoping for a miracle, and he's actually doing it. Isn't revealing your build a super sensitive issue? That just means he's that confident. Na-eon bowed. Well, then we'll see you all in the next broadcast. Cha Seong-jan also bowed. Thank you for watching for so long. He was buzzing with excitement. But for real, that was absolutely insane. Na-eon laughed. Right, a completely adaptable player, 30 consecutive wins, and he even revealed his build. The community boards are going to explode. At this rate, won't he set a new record soon? What's the current record for the most consecutive wins anyway? Cha Seong-jan replied, currently, the record for the most consecutive wins in dual mode is held by the player Butler, with 76 wins. It's a record he set while smurfing on his alternate account. Na-eon was thrilled. Anyway, it would be awesome if Gu Hyun could set a new record. No, if it's Gu Hyun, he can definitely do it. Besides, Cha Seong-jan added, if it's Butler we're talking about, who's famous for his competitive streak, he's probably already got his eye on our god of mechanics. Slowly clicking and scrolling, the screen displayed the reverse time community forums, the cursor gliding endlessly upwards, his finger still moving the mouse with a deliberate, slow pace. A notification popped up. Report result. The reported player has been penalized. Found using an illegal third-party program, a permanent ban has been issued according to the terms of service. Butter rested his chin on his hand and let out a long, weary sigh. A line of text on the screen boasted, not even butter can break this record. He read the words aloud. Not even butter can break it. A smirk played on his lips. How amusing. A few mornings later, it was time for the second broadcast. Xuan was deep in thought. The viewer, who was ranked 62nd at the end, he didn't appear during the previous stream. Does that mean I'm still missing something? Suddenly, a sweet voice cut through the air. Junior Lu Jin waved cheerfully at him. Over here, she looked as stunning as a main character in a romance manhwa, flashing a radiant smile. The comments flew in Sister Lu Jin. She's adapted so perfectly, and to think Ripple was a failure, puffed. Her looks alone place her in the top 3 most popular NPCs in Ripple. She's absolutely gorgeous. She said, "This is your first field mission. Aren't you nervous at all?" He replied, "A field." Mission came a bit faster than I expected, but I'm fine. A new quest window had popped up the moment he had logged into the game. The system announced, "Your first field mission has been assigned. Please change into your combat attire and report to the designated location." Xuan thought an apprentice agent is already getting a field mission. Good thing this is a game so I can skip the training montage. So what's this field mission about anyway? Lu Jin explained, "We need to completely exterminate the invasive entities inside the inverted world and seal the space. We've received a report that they might be getting more aggressive. It's another one of those locations abandoned by the corporations. We usually just leave them alone since they're sometimes useful for extermination purposes. But of course, the corporations just had to stir things up and then ditch them the moment they stopped being profitable." Xuan mused, "Figures. The corporations here are just as scummy as the ones back home. It's the same everywhere. Anyway, the invasive entities are small-sized insects. We're dealing with insect-type invaders. Their danger assessment is FE, basically low. He thought they're weak, but they swarm, which makes them a real pain to deal with. The soldiers," he said, covering his face with his hand. "Loyal Sergeant Park John. Are you an awakened from the Otherworld Management Bureau?" Lu Jin held up her ID. "Yep. Thank you for your hard work," he replied, confirming she was cleared to enter. The magnetic door slowly opened, revealing the inside. "This is terrifying. I've never seen a gate appear inside an abandoned factory." Gu Hyun looked up and thought, "Why does it look so familiar? I've seen this in hell too, but back then I'm sure it was a medium-sized one, not small. Mr. Chenchu, is something wrong?" Lu Jin spoke up, "Shall we go in?" Suddenly, a loud voice cut them off. Well, look who it is. An awakened affiliated with the Jumsin Electronics Corporation. What brings our esteemed senior Lu Jin to such a tiny little gate?" Lu Jin asked confusedly. "Kui Hei-jun, why are you here?" The guy strode over and replied, "I'm surprised too. You know, I didn't expect my mission location to be the same as yours." "Senior," she retorted, "you abandoned it and threw it away. And now you're calling it a mission. Don't tell me you're plotting something." Kui Hei-jun replied, "Plotting? Oh, that hurts my feelings. By the way, who is this new junior you've picked up? Instead of suffering for nothing at the bureau, why don't you try joining a corporation?" Lu Jin cut him off. "Mr. Kui Hei-jun." Her eyes were sharp as knives. "Don't cross the line." The guy just laughed and stepped back. "All right, I get it. Since I'm leaving this inverted world to you, please take good care of it." Senior Kui Hei-jun laughed loudly as he walked away. "Good luck with that," Gu Hyun asked, confused. "Who was that?" Lu Jin covered her face. "He was the first probationary agent that I was in charge of my blood sugars dropping just thinking about it. After he got scouted by a corporation and left, he started spreading malicious rumors about the bureau." Mr. Cha spoke up, "Isn't this the first time the relationship between Lu Jin and Kui Hei-jun has been revealed in this much detail?" Nah, on added, "I'm seeing this for the first time too in this manhwa. Normally, they just gloss over it, saying that something terrible happened between them." He said, "It seems like a much bigger story is unfolding, is being fueled by the influence of someone who has completely adapted." Comments were popping up hinting this would become a massive hidden story if it ever sees the light of day. Perhaps planet Earth has been hiding something juicy all along. Lu Jin stepped forward. "We should use these. Enough of this sad talk and let's go inside." Guyan replied curtly, "Fine." Outside, the very same door started glowing ominously. "It seems they've entered, so shall we begin our little plan?" 20 minutes later, inside the topsy-turvy reversed world, Guyan's eyes were pitch black as he coldly wiped a smear of blood from his face. In front of him, Lu Jin lay defeated against a tree trunk. A red candy wrapper rested on the ground in a pool of blood. But hold your horses, that was a flash forward. Just a few minutes ago, Guyan and Lu Jin had only just stepped through the gate. She stepped forward, warning him about the portal. "This is the path to the reversed world. Once you pass through the transport gate on the other side, you'll enter the reversed world for real." Guiyun simply nodded and walked ahead without a shred of doubt. Got it, so it's just like the other side. But suddenly, a violent tremor shook the very ground, stopping them from crossing through. Relying on experience, Guiyun knew instantly an anomaly. Lojin was being sucked into the portal, only managing to yell out, "Junior." The light from the gate swallowed her whole, her last words a warning. Be careful. After she vanished, he found himself in a dense forest littered with bones. Guiyun scanned his surroundings to get his bearings. A forest? Did I just get separated from Lujin? It's common for these pathways to collapse from outside tremors. First things first, he twirled the knife in his hand, preparing to annihilate a swarm of spiders. His eyes turned ice cold with resolve. I should deal with these pests first, then find Lujin. Meanwhile, elsewhere someone was summoning crackling lightning into her palm. Lujin unleashed a wave of power, a scattershot of thunder that not a single spider could escape. They were almost instantly vaporized. But seeing how ridiculously persistent the spiders were, she felt a little helpless. They just keep coming no matter how many I fry. On top of that, no matter how you look at it, the scale of this forest seems closer to a medium-sized reversed world than a small one. A classic manhwa trope. Lujin sighed in frustration. Knew it, something is definitely fishy here. While she was distracted, Kuei Hengjun launched a sneak attack from behind. As she was thinking, I hope my junior is okay. She spotted the attack almost instantly, but even with a timely dodge, she was still hit. What the Lujin leaped back to create some distance while the guy just chuckled. She couldn't believe her eyes. Kuei Hengjun. Why would you? He just gave a mocking smirk. Let's just say we're on a top-secret mission, shall we? I'm just following orders, so don't hold a grudge, okay? She was in so much pain she could barely stand. This is ridiculous. The wound is too deep. I have to get out of here now. With that thought, Lujin tried to make a run for it, but there was no way that guy would let her go. All right, Li Jujin unleashed a lightning bolt as a diversion. Sharp rocks erupted from the ground to block their path, a classic earth shield, but they immediately exploded. Boom! They shattered into a million pieces, sending everyone flying. Seizing the moment, Li Jujin made a swift getaway. Kui Xiongquan, absolutely furious, started cursing him out. This moron gave chase, but despite her best efforts, she was just too slow. To boost her chances of escape, Li Jujin clasped her hands together and channeled her power. Electricity. She spread her arms wide, conjuring a spear of pure lightning. The next second, Li Jujin gripped the spear, ready for a showdown. She put every ounce of her strength into a backflip, hurling the lightning spear behind her. The bolt struck the ground, causing a massive explosion at their feet, just when things were getting dicey. Hanging by a thread, she found an escape route. Hey, you worthless punk, why didn't you stop her? Damn it, it's your fault we lost her. Kui Xiongquan barked out orders relentlessly. Quick search up ahead. After they had cleared out, Li Jujin finally emerged. She let out a huge sigh of relief. Phew, if it wasn't for that life-saving cave, I'd have been in some serious trouble. Anyway, a secret mission. What is this corporation plotting? Meanwhile, over with Gu Hyun, he was getting the fans all hyped up. That's the stuff. Why are they all going down in just one hit? Looks like he's already taken out dozens of them. He looked at the tracks on the ground and declared, I can definitely feel Li Jujin's presence here. He knelt down and noticed that something was off. Suddenly, a familiar dark aura flared up nearby. Gu Hyun instantly recognized it and dashed towards her. It was Li Jujin's voice. He moved so fast the signal tracker couldn't even keep up. Turns out Li Jujin was being constricted by a giant centipede, wrapped tight. Senior Jujin is in danger. How could she lose to a bunch of bugs? By the way, how did he even know she was here to come running? This whole scene is like a classic manhwa rescue. With no wasted movements, Gu Hyun charged in. With just a few simple slashes, he freed her from its grasp. Gu Hyun caught Li Jujin, preventing her from hitting the ground hard. He gently laid her down and asked, Are you okay? Junior, she whispered. Gu Hyun immediately knew something was seriously wrong. A veteran hunter like Li Jujin couldn't possibly be defeated by some run-of-the-mill insects. This is a wound caused by an ability. Considering the situation, the only awakened one who could have done this Don't tell me it was Xuan. She nodded. Yeah, it seems he was right on our tail. Back on the outside, Na-on was confused. Doesn't anyone else find this strange? Xuan usually ambushes people much later than this. Right, the comment section totally agrees. He attacked during the whole corporate arc after all. But that's old news, isn't it? What is something wrong? What in the world is happening? She whirls around to ask Che Xiong, could this be a side effect of that fully adapted AI? Completely. He's thinking the exact same thing. For now, that's the only theory we can come up with. A hidden scenario? How interesting. This is getting juicy. For now, let's just watch. Over on the other side, Lu Jin's face is beet red. I barely managed to shake him off, but I have no idea. I don't know when he'll pop back up to ambush me. What's worse, if I use my powers, my location will be exposed. So Junior, you need to escape first. But Gushun, ever the hero, has other plans. First, let's get you patched up. You hide for a bit, I'll go deal with them and be right back. She's not having any of it and immediately stops him. No Choi Huiyang. He is a veteran awakener, a classic trope in this kind of manhwa. You can't possibly face him alone. Gu Shun cuts her off with a confident nod. Don't worry, I have a plan. At that very moment by the riverbank, Choi Huiyang's crew is getting antsy. Where the hell is she hiding? The boss sighs and dishes out orders. In her condition, she couldn't have gotten far anyway. Search this entire valley. In the meantime, I'll head down and track our target myself. Suddenly, a flicker of movement catches Choi Huiyang's eye. He unleashes his flame hands in a precautionary attack. Out pops Gu Shun wearing his most innocent, "Who me?" face begging. Wait a minute. The baddie squints at him. You're Lu Jin's junior. Before answering, Gu Shun puts on a dramatic show. Oh, thank goodness I'm alive. I can't believe the path suddenly collapsed and I got separated from senior Lu Jin. Do you guys know what happened? The comments section is exploding. What is this Oscar-worthy performance? I can't even see his face and I know he's killing it. His acting skills are S-rank. Rest in peace, Choi Huiyang, you absolute clown. The guy tries to act all buddy-buddy, slinging an arm around Gu Shun's shoulder. You still don't know, do you? Well, here's the deal. With a sinister grin, Choi Huiyang lunges. You two can have a nice little reunion after you take a permanent nap. Suddenly, a crimson liquid sprays through the air. Before anyone could even process what was happening, Gu Shun had turned the guy into a human shish kebab. The moment reality hit, Choi Huiyang was trembling uncontrollably. Cough. You punk? Down below the comments section is loving it. Getting skewered is exactly what he deserved. The accuracy is insane. He clutches the gaping wound and collapses, sending his worried teammates scrambling toward him. What is it? What's wrong? And as for our boy Gu Shun, and quickly vanished. His buddy caught Xiang Chun exclaiming, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Meanwhile, Gu Hyun had successfully blended into the bushes. The guy, while propping his friend up, yelled, "Let me patch you up, you go after that punk." Kang Jin immediately drew his weapon and gave chase. Got it! The goon plunged deeper into the forest, completely oblivious that Gu Hyun was watching him from a nearby tree branch. It was a classic trap. Damn it, where did he go? Kang Jin wondered, peering around only for a shadow to suddenly materialize behind him. There's no escaping. Your fate in this kind of manhwa. Like a phantom, our boy appeared right behind the guy. What the? Kang Jin tried to calm himself. Did I just jump out of my skin? But Gu Hyun struck before the guy could even process his suspicion. Elsewhere, the other teammate was desperately trying to stop the bleeding. Hey, stay with me. I've stopped the bleeding. You just need to get out and get treated. But then something glinted in the sky. Before shooting straight into Chong Chun's wound, making him cough up a mouthful of blood, his teammate looked around, roaring, "What? Lunatic did this?" Gu Hyun calmly strolled towards them. Seeing this, the other guy got to his feet, warily asking, "Where is my partner?" But all he got was stone-cold silence from Gu Hyun. Our protagonist simply raised the sword in his hand as an answer. The man's eyes widened as he recognized his partner's blade. Unable to contain his rage, the man unleashed his ultimate technique and charged forward. "I'll get my revenge," he screamed simultaneously, launching a volley of razor-sharp stones. Utterly unfazed, Gu Hyun effortlessly sliced through all the stones with a single clean stroke, but his opponent wasn't giving up. "This isn't over," he declared, preparing another move. He unleashed it, causing the very ground beneath them to rupture. Huge chunks of earth and massive boulders were sent flying towards our hero. Earth tremor. Gu Hyun remained cool as a cucumber glanced around and quickly chopped down a nearby tree using the stump as an anchor. He then propped the trunk against another tree, creating a makeshift shield just big enough to avoid being buried by the earth tremor. His opponent saw this and roared in frustration, "You monster!" While Gu Hyun was taking cover behind the log, a sharp rock jutted out. From the ground nearby, a massive boulder, a technique called stone horn, was then launched toward Gu Hyun, but he swiftly dodged it. Gu Hyun's face remained a blank canvas as he watched the boulder hurtle closer. A stray rock shard managed to pierce his arm. Seeing Gu Hyun suddenly charge at him, the guy frantically launched more rocks in self-defense. "Stay back!" Gu Hyun simply drew his second sword. One slash, then two, effortlessly dicing those massive boulders. And in the blink of an eye, he finished off the poor sap. The last guy was trembling too hard to even speak, completely in disbelief, as a notification popped up in front of him. Gu Shun coolly sheathed his sword and let out a soft breath. Whoosh! The live comments went absolutely wild. Electric. That's insane. I literally held my breath watching that. Na An was just staring completely gobsmacked. She broke out in a cold sweat. A single core element user taking on 3 hounds by himself. Meanwhile, her old man was practically swooning, lost in a haze of admiration and blind faith. The comments kept pouring in. "He's like an impenetrable wall." But wait, this is the hound's first mission, isn't it? Is this difficulty level even legal? My jaw's on the floor, no joke. Gu Shun glanced at the wound he'd just received. Even after ambushing 2 of them, he still got hurt. He was still a bit rusty compared to his prime back in the other world. Shrugging it off, he thought, all right, time to scout the area. Gu Shun checked Kui Xuanjun's phone and found a message. The objective was to deliver the target to the inverted planet and capture P for a promotion. Failure meant Kui Xuanjun's phone would be terminated along with him. He read the message while looting the corpses. Nothing else of note. The only other message was from someone named Ju Zhen. The investigation was being handed over to the Bureau, and then the item drops appeared. First up, the regression blade. Effect 1 slightly increases the blade's sharpness. Effect 2, when thrown, it can be returned to the hand at will. Both effects are PvE only. Next was the power bracelet. Effect 1 increases the power of psychic skills. Effect 2 reduces the cooldown of psychic skills. Just like a proper Manhwa item, it was super convenient. The last item, the Hermit's Necklace. Effect 1 allows the use of Black Affliction. Effect 2 provides item storage at any time. All effects again only apply in PvE. Gu Shun held the regression blade, thinking he could test out the effects right away. This really felt like a game. Back in his world, they had to figure out item effects through tedious trial and error. He then tossed the 3 blades into his spatial storage. For now, the problem was solved. He needed to move quickly. Gu Shun thought to himself, I have to conquer the inverted planet before Zhou Zhen's injuries get any worse. Elsewhere, Lu Zhen frowned, snapping out of a daze. Oh great, she was now face to face with a giant scorpion monster. It was a boss entity, the Emperor Scorpion. Clutching her wound, Lu Zhen gave a wry smile. Well, isn't this just my luck? I come all this way. Is this thing seriously targeting me? Should I consider this lucky or just plain annoying? She thought. If it had gone after her junior instead. Suddenly, its massive pincer swung right for her head. She channeled a ridiculous amount of energy into her hands, preparing a killer move. Welp, looks like I have to personally take out this overgrown sea bug. Lu Jin charged forward, ready for a life-or-death battle, with the scorpion electricity crackling from her fingertips. But before she could even launch her attack, the monster's pincer just dropped clean off and clattered to the ground, leaving Lu Jin completely dumbfounded. As the smoke cleared, a figure appeared standing on the scorpion's back like a king. It was Gu Hyun, looking impossibly cool, with one hand on his sword and one foot pressing the blade that was already embedded in the beast. You all right? He asked. Lu Jin just stared up, dazed and with stars in her eyes. My junior? she whispered as the live comment section absolutely exploded. Sister Jin. Sister Jin. Sister Jin. My god, with a body chiseled by the heavens he fought. The boss wiped out all the minions, the elites, and now the boss itself. This guy is the ultimate Manhwa protagonist. He glanced up, noticing the cracks spreading across the sky. The inverted planet was starting to collapse. Gu Hyun hopped down to her side. You actually took down all those hounds by yourself? She said, impressed. He just nodded. Let's get out of here, I'll carry you. Nao's commentary popped up. Quest completed. Just as the dimension is collapsing, the exit is closing before they can get out. Yup. On screen, the image was pure chaos. Gu Hyun was giving Lu Jin a piggyback ride, making a desperate dash for the exit. That's right, so we have to escape before we get trapped, he told her. So hold on tight, okay, he instructed. From his back, Lu Jin managed a weak, okay. Under a sky that was literally shattering, Gu Hyun sprinted towards the portal with Lu Jin. Notifications flooded the screen. Clear complete. Received 1 spirit point. Leveled up. Received 1 spirit point. Back at the Otherworld Management Bureau headquarters, team leader Jin Qian got straight to the point. Is it true, was Lu Jin really attacked by an awakened from the corporation? Gu Hyun's answer was blunt. Yes sir, it's true. Jin Qian rubbed his temples in frustration. Those corporate scumbags, they've finally crossed the line. So what happened to them? Gu Hyun replied coldly. I took care of them. Jin Qian looked up shocked. Took care of them? How could you possibly all by yourself? He flashed back to a previous memory for a second. Right, Jin Qian said, shaking it off. Do you have any evidence we can use? Gu Hyun calmly placed a smartphone on the table. It's theirs. The text messages show the orders, but the rest is encrypted, he explained. The team leader nodded. Good, this will make the investigation much easier. Leave the rest to us and get some rest. Gu Hyun stood up and simply said, I'm leaving. Seeing his grim, unsatisfied expression as he walked away, the chief called out, Wait. He just wanted to offer Gu Hyun a small piece of advice. Don't you worry, there'll definitely be a next time, Jin Tian advised. Until then, you need to keep your cool. Got it. Gun looked down and mumbled his reply. Got it. A system window popped up with a triumphant chime. First field mission complete. You've leveled up and gained 1 stat point, now it's time to choose your second core element. Meanwhile, Naeon was sitting with her father, Song Jing, remarking, The first field mission is already over, he commented. That was way more spectacular than I expected. Ha! Naeon glanced at her tablet, her eyes widening in surprise. Oh, I'd say the viewers are more than satisfied. A notification flashed on screen. Anonymous Viewer 62 has sent a private donation of 3 million to celebrate clearing the first gate. This is a special mission. Naeon instantly shot a message to Gun. Anonymous Viewer 62 just dropped a massive gift and a message. He donated 3 million won. That's insane, Gun mumbled to himself as he saw the notification just as the rest of her message came through. I'm sending you a screenshot. Right now I'm about to give you a special mission. You need to end the stream first. Gun's eyebrows shot up. A special mission? Now that she mentioned it, he did say something about that before, so he's going to tell me. After the stream is over, right? Then a series of comments popped up from Anonymous Viewer 62. Hello Gun, it's great to see you again. How does it feel to be back in the real world? I've prepared something very special just for you. Gun's eyes darted to the side reading the notification. Thanks for passing that along, let's continue the stream. Naeon quickly sent him an OK sticker. This is getting as dramatic as a manhwa plot. Outside, Song Jing suddenly turned his head and whispered, Miss Naeon, is something the matter? She jumped slightly startled and quickly replied, Oh no, my apologies. Naeon was flustered, her face flushing red as she thought to herself, so Song Jing can't see this private donation window. Well, it is a private donation after all. I'll get to the bottom of this later. Right now, I need to focus on the stream. Then she composed herself. She regained her professional spirit and shouted with gusto, All right, everyone, let's continue today's stream. We're going to ride this wave of hype and jump right into some PvP. Her sudden outburst made him jump. Yes, Neon tablet in hand began to recap. In the last PvP showdown, the nuclear tech god went on an absolutely insane winning streak and completely demolished the rankings. Song Jing nodded in agreement. That's right. So what's the plan for today's PvP session? She began a little hesitantly. Today's PvP is a struggle match with 4 different modes. Players will choose one mode and battle it out 5 versus 5 in a best of 3 match. A flood of comments instantly filled the chat. Struggle mode is. What, we're not dueling? I was totally looking forward to extending my dueling win streak. Are you seriously kidding me? They're not going to continue because they're afraid of losing their streak. Na, on looking like she expected this, just cracked a wry smile, and sure enough, a few people objected. But once they witness this, I bet my lunch money they'll change their tune. After a moment, she gave a sly wink and announced, "Alrighty, then let's begin." Inside the game, the system announced that a standard escort mode PvP match had been successfully made. The attacking team of 5 players entered the arena, eagerly greeting each other. "Hello, let's have a good game, let's all try our best." Our boy Xuan was pretty surprised by the situation. So our first match is an escort mission in escort mode. The attacking team has to push a payload to the objective while the defending team tries to stop them. Naon turned her head, with a giant cartoonish question mark appearing over it. This is the first time we're seeing a 5 versus 5 team battle. Can the god of nuclear engineering possibly live up to his legendary Manhwa protagonist reputation? Then the system's voice boomed, "Round 1 begin," and the wheels of the payload started trundling down the road. 2 people stood on top to guard the cargo, 1 trailed behind to watch their 6. And 2 took point up front. "Let's go, let's get this win, everyone." But then Chenggu Xian came to a dead stop, turning to look behind him. Cheon saw this and was baffled. He's just standing there. At that moment, our boy was using his eagle eyes to scan his surroundings. On had a hunch, is he planning a backdoor play? The other commentator confirmed it immediately. That's right, normally players would stick close to the payload, but for a highly skilled player, going for a flank isn't a bad idea at all. But usually, stopping 5 people all by yourself is no easy task. As he spoke, Chenggu Xian was already leaping through every nook and cranny on the street. A commentator chimed in, "But if it's the god of nuclear engineering, maybe it's possible they watched his lightning-fast movements and immediately started guessing. It's not a ranked match, just a casual one, they're all newbies, so this should be effective. But why isn't anyone considering that there might be some smurfs in the lobby?" Everyone watched Chenggu Xian's position on the map in absolute awe. Such an insane speed, he was about to reach them. Gu Shun was officially bored with the defense team. Before long, he drew his sword, letting it hover ominously in the air right above their heads. He then whipped his hand back, pulling out a dagger. In one fluid motion, Gu Shun launched that blade straight down toward the attacking team. Down below, instantly, one player gets targeted and sent flying in a shower of blood, causing his teammate to scream in disbelief. "What the heck was that?" A panicked blonde dude yells out, "It's an ambush!" The words barely leave his mouth before a flash of light zips past his neck. The system immediately displays, "Bu Shun has killed 2. Bu Shun has killed nor prison food." Just as that poor sap hits the dirt with a thud, our hero makes his grand entrance. He lands, striking fear into the hearts of the remaining players. "What is our team even doing?" they mutter, watching him slowly draw a sword from his back. They quickly cook up a plan. "I'll hold him off. You guys focus on the cargo, roger that." And then a tidal wave of notifications crashes onto their screens. "Bu Shun has killed Potato Heaven, Grey Wang Zun, Swimming Elephant." Our guy's own teammates are reading the kill feed in utter confusion. What is going on? The kill announcements just keep popping up non-stop. In a flash, the system updates. Round 1 ends with a victory for the attacking team. This secured the win for the attackers, leaving the other players completely slack-jawed and whispering, "Is it already over?" The comment section absolutely erupted, and his teammates' reactions were priceless. "I'd be so mad if the match ended before I even saw the enemy." "Dude, if someone is carrying you that hard, you should just be grateful." Outside the game, Na Weng is practically pressing her face against the screen, nodding along. "We knew he was going to carry the team, but ending it this fast is honestly a bit of a letdown." Her friend adds, he seems even faster than usual today, don't you think? Maybe he's in a hurry or something. She just laughs in response. Who knows, let's just keep watching. The scene cuts back to the game. Xuan unleashes a devastating punch on another player, knocking him out cold. The guy collapses in an instant, joining his already defeated comrades on the floor. Constant explosions rock the fortress walls in the conquest zone. Members of the opposing team are in a frenzy. They're desperately spamming their skills to stop Xuan, all while screaming, "What is that psycho even doing? Stop him." But nothing can stop this absolute god of war. He single-handedly dodges their onslaught and leaps high into the air, looking like a protagonist straight out of an action manhwa. From above, Xuan swiftly logs out two more players. A shower of tiny red and white particles rains down in front of him. A moment later, a blood-spattered flag is raised, capturing the point. And just like that, Xuan completely cleans house, sweeping the entire battlefield. He secures an overwhelming pentakill and ends every single match in the blink of an eye. The notification panel dings again. Anonymous viewer 62 has gifted a private donation of 3 million won. You worked hard today. Now I have a special mission for you. Open the new system for reverse. Planet while our boy's in the middle of a game. Neon's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree at the sight of money, thinking, cha-ching, another 3 million, and immediately messaged, our boy. Xuan again and again. An anonymous viewer, number 62, dropped a gift with a message, 300 million. Should we use it to throw an event? For our subscribers? Or maybe take the whole team out for a fancy dinner? Or perhaps upgrade our gear? Xuan just mumbled in response, yeah whatever, just send me the screenshot. After reading it, he grumbled to himself, this new system they added to the game basically means I'm stuck doing nothing but boring PvE or PvB. He closed his eyes and tilted his head back, looking utterly drained. Xuan narrowed his eyes slightly, thinking to himself, for now, I'll just play along. A few days later, on the third day of the nuclear core exploration segment, he was walking into the Space Management Bureau's combat training area. A message from Lu Jin popped up. Junior, I've been injured, so I won't be able to guide you for a while. Therefore, I've already found a replacement. Come to the training grounds and I'll introduce you to them. Neon piped up in the chat, wondering who could the replacement be. Old Man Zhang hazarded a guess, considering the reputation of the nuclear tech god. They'll probably assign a famous agent. Others chimed in with their own theories. Maybe Jin Qian will take over. This Manhwa plot. No way, he looked super busy last time. It's gotta be Jin Han or Zhang Hujiang. Just then, a bandaged arm belonging to Ju Jin waved him over. Junior, you're here. Xuan walked up and asked her, are you feeling any better? She teased back, thanks to you I am, but I think someone else will have to take over the guiding duties. Then someone approached, catching Xuan's attention. Ju Jin quickly said, ah, here she is. A pair of boots stepped gracefully onto the lush green grass. A woman, with short hair and a seriously cool outfit, introduced herself. Hello, I'm Jin Hannah. The comment section absolutely lost its mind. Whoa, Jin Hannah first, Ju Jin now. Hannah, you lucky dog, I'm so jealous. I didn't expect you to have it this good. But I still prefer big sis Ju Jin. I've got different preferences between Ju Jin and Hannah. That's a fact. Our MC politely nodded in greeting. A pleasure to meet you. I'm Beiguo Xuan. Inwardly, he was thinking, Jin Hannah. In terms of skill, she's second only to Jin Qian. She's without a doubt the number 2 at the Space Management Bureau. Back in that other world, she was a dangerous enemy. A very dangerous one. Ju Jin spoke up playfully. All right then, since you two have been introduced, I'll be on my way. I really should have. I'm not even supposed to be here, Hannah whined with a pout. What, you literally just told me you got permission. She immediately spun on her heel and bolted, not forgetting to shout back. Well, she's all yours now, leaving Hannah standing there yelling. Hey Ju Jin, get your butt back here. But in a flash, she was gone, leaving the two of them staring at each other in a profoundly awkward silence. Hannah's face was beet red with embarrassment, but she had to break the ice somehow. I heard you use a sword. Do you prefer a long sword or a dagger? Xuan glanced over and answered coolly, I use both. She stroked her chin thoughtfully. Both, huh? I wonder just how skilled this guy really is. Suddenly, an idea struck Hannah. How about a little sparring match? The moment Xian heard that, he started sweating bullets. Neon glanced over, utterly confused. What's wrong? His eyes were wide with panic as he struggled to get a single sentence out. The way this whole situation is playing out is just so weird. She looked down at her screen, completely baffled. Sparring with Kim Hannah? Isn't it totally normal for sword wielders to spar with each other? By now, the two fighters were gripping their weapons, locked in an intense stare down. Xian stammered, yeah, but not every player uses a sword. This entire setup only works because the god of nuclear technology is the main character. Neon's jaw hit the floor, her face turning pale. The commentators in the peanut gallery were also losing their minds. What in the world? That sent a shiver down my spine. Another chimed in. You're telling me most of them are ability users? This AI is certifiably insane. What even is it? The crowd buzzed with chatter as Xuan gave his sword a practice swing. Even if it's some super advanced AI, I think it's completely derailed the main storyline, but this development is a world away from what other players have experienced. This means that this game. As Hannah also took her stance, the crowd continued to murmur, this is a top-tier manhwa plot twist. Depending on the player's actions, the plot can unfold in completely different ways. A brilliant golden light suddenly flared in Guiyon's pupils. He looked incredibly dangerous. Hannah instantly raised her sword to eye-level the purple in her own eyes, flashing with a clear challenge. This all feels a little too real. Hannah then proposed the terms, let's just use our swords to spar, no special abilities allowed. Guion stared at her blankly before flat-out refusing. Yeah, that's not going to work. My ability is a physical enhancement and it's always active, so it's on right now. She shifted into a defensive stance and replied, oh, if that's the case. Alright then, I guess I'll use my powers too. Jin Han smirked, her voice low and confident, while Gu Xuan just stood there looking as frosty as a snowman's. Well, you get the idea. The very second the word begin was called, she zipped right in front of him like a bolt of lightning. A blinding flash of light streaked past his face. Gu Xuan spun on his heel, dodging the attack with inhuman reflexes. He immediately swung his own weapon up to parry her away. Jin Han stumbled back a few steps, but expertly scraped her toes on the ground to regain her balance in a flash. A heartbeat later, she gathered her momentum and shot forward again. Jin Han delivered a brutally powerful and decisive slash, sending Gu Xuan sliding backward. Chi, watching from the sidelines, couldn't help but exclaim, Jin Han man, the rumors weren't exaggerated, she's the real deal. Nio En chimed in, that's her famous Godspeed fighting style, isn't it? At that moment, Jin Han leaped into the air, crackling with arcs of blue energy. With her sword aimed squarely at Gu Xuan, she looked like a goddess of war. The other guy replied, you're half right, half wrong. The Godspeed style was indeed inspired by Jin Han, but our god of particle technology is pretty darn impressive too, right? He's not getting overwhelmed at all. He's not being pushed back by Jin Han's speed. In the next instant, she launched a flurry of attacks, but not a single one managed to touch Gu Xuan. The commentators were going absolutely bonkers. Whoa, you can't be serious, isn't this supposed to be a side quest? How is this guy so OP? Watching this makes me want to learn swordsmanship. This action is better than any manhwa I've ever read. Suddenly, Jin Han froze, her eyes widening in pure astonishment. She stared at Gu Xuan's emotionless face and realized, it's not just his speed, he's exploiting the fundamentals with pinpoint accuracy. A mysterious smile crept onto Jin Han's lips as she spoke. Well, it seems I'll have to use a little more of my real power for this. Instantly, she poured even more energy into her sword, shoving it right up to Gu Xuan's nose. The mana began to swirl violently. The gathering energy grew larger and larger, shooting out shimmering blue rings of power. Jin Han held her weapon steady, muttering. She glanced at a piece of the arena net that had just been vaporized by her attack, then at Gu Xuan's spinning form, and continued, I really thought you'd dodge that. The commentary booth lit up again. As expected, Jin Han is terrifying. Is the god of particle technology still not on her level? Well, the god of particle technology has only unlocked 2 core elements. If he manages to unlock another one, do you think he could be her equal then? Maybe he'd need even more. Jinhan raised an eyebrow, a hint of admiration in her eyes. You're pretty good. Way sharper than I expected. Gu Xun gives a humble nod. Thank you, ma'am. Internally, he's sweating bullets, thinking if this was a real battle, my win rate would be less than 20%. Looks like I've still got a long way to go compared to the pros from that other world. Gu Xun lowers his gaze like a shy schoolboy. To be perfectly honest, I'm self-taught. Hannah's jaw just about hits the floor. You're self-taught and you're this good. Reaching this level all on your own. Niece, follow me, there's something I want to show you. Just then the system dings with an update. Mission complete. Sparring with Jin Han. Mission complete. You have leveled up, the scene instantly shifts to a room that looks like a weapon enthusiast's dream, straight out of a manhwa with blades hanging everywhere. Gu Xun looks around, confused. What is this place? Jin Han gestures to the incredible arsenal before them. Welcome to the official armory of the Interdimensional Management Bureau. Just then a new face, Jin Yuju, assistant to the support team's captain, chirps in cheerfully. I believe you mentioned that our boy Gu Xun here would be needing a suitable weapon. Hannah side-eyes our protagonist and confirms. Yep, that's right, even though I have a weapon I'm using now. There's no reason to stick with a plain old non-magical sword. She finishes speaking and gives him a thoughtful look. Gu Xun quickly bows his head. The assistant says, please feel free to pick whatever you like, I'll be taking my leave now. After she's gone, Hannah waves a hand dismissively and says, all right, your turn to pick a prize. Gu Xun's eyes sweep across the collection and he strokes his chin thoughtfully. There are fewer valuable items here than I thought. He walks up to the blood-sucking spear Dragos and checks out its stats. First effect, its piercing power is massively enhanced. Second effect, it absorbs blood from the tip to heal the wielder, and you get to control the healing rate, but it's all PvE only, he mutters under his breath. Still, this is a pretty high-quality piece of gear. I guess I'll take this one, and then something else suddenly catches Gu Xun's eye. He stares at a wicked-looking blade tucked away in the back. It's the legendary soul devourer Shihun just casually sitting in a corner. And Gu Xun can't look away. The Shihun is famous for its special effect. It's absolutely indestructible. Its power grows based on the number of souls it has devoured, which boosts its attack power. It also heals you for an amount equal to a health potion based on the damage you deal. With the Shihun, the other two effects are currently sealed and yep, it's all PvE only. He walks over and lifts the blade, wondering to himself how in the world did an item that belongs on the black market end up here. Could it be that someone originally stole it from the Bureau? This is a plot twist straight out of a revenge manhwa. I can't believe I'm actually holding my favorite weapon from my past life right here in my hands. Seeing his choice, Hannah asks skeptically, you're really deciding on that one? Are you sure? Jun declared, yep, I'll take this one. The attendant marveled at the two-handed sword. How fascinating. I'll start the ownership transfer to you right away. Nio An was watching this unfold and couldn't help but freak out. What in the world is going on? Normally a weapon with maybe two options would pop up at this stage of the game. Everyone else was thinking the same thing. No, this is absolutely ridiculous. Why would a weapon with 5 options even exist here? And even though the options are supposed to be random, every single one of them was a top-tier perk. It's just like in a manhwa where the MC gets all the luck. When I went to the armory, I got jack squat. The system quickly pinged with the notification user Zhuoke Zhengjia has donated 1,000. 1. If all those seals are broken, that thing is going to be the game's ultimate weapon. Xuan, however, didn't seem too surprised by this. In fact, this isn't the first time our nuclear god has gotten his hands on gear that's way above his pay grade. The necklace of Hamit he snagged during the last stream was also a mid-game story item. The other commentators suddenly piped up, jogging his memory. Oh right, I was so focused on the hidden plot that I forgot. A hellhound appeared during the very first field mission, for crying out loud. Who even pays attention to that? Xuan rolled his eyes at Nio An and said, the real ones know what's up. Reverse. Planet has a crystal-clear risk-reward system. The tougher the challenge, the bigger the payout. The female commentator wondered so, because he defeated a hellhound on his very first run. He was able to get the necklace of Mit for that, Xuan confirmed. Precisely. What's more, our nuclear god flawlessly executed everything from escaping the laboratory to sparring with Jin Hana. Naoan's eyes widened as he muttered, and the reward for all that was the soul-devouring sword. It's starting to make a frightening amount of sense, isn't it? Another commentator immediately agreed, adding slyly, of course, for now. It's all just a theory. Let's get back to watching the action unfold. Back inside the game, Jin Hana announced that the ownership transfer was complete. Jun replied as he casually slid the epic sword into his inventory. Thanks a lot. Jin Hana looked up, practically beaming with excitement for him. Well, now that you've got a new toy to play with, shall we go for a little raid? The scene shifts to a desolate, remote mountain range. Jun and Jin Hana stepped through a shimmering portal, arriving at their destination. She immediately shivered from the biting cold. Who in their right mind puts a portal on top of a freezing mountain? And just like that, it boots up. Hannah remembers what the guard said, getting all grumpy because the gate was supposed to be just a little higher up. Yeah, right, just a little higher my foot. What a scam. Anyway, this is the hotspot for beast-type invading entities. Specifically ones that look like wolves. The system promptly flashes a picture of a wild wolf. Difficulty low. Hannah puts her hands on her hips and adds, they've got some serious territorial issues, so they'll be sniffing around here any minute now. Guiyun closes his eyes, doing some quick mental math. Beast types are a bigger pain than insectoids, but anything below B rank is basically just fodder anyway. Then he says aloud, this just saves us the trouble of hunting them down. She immediately lays down the ground rules. If things get dicey, I'll step in, but for now I'm just here to watch. Good luck. Guhun wastes no time summoning his soul eater from the darkness, and replies with a crisp, understood. Meanwhile, the wind is howling like a banshee on this mountaintop, and the sound of monster paws is getting closer. And closer, his pupils sharpen to a razor's edge as he hears them approach. Guhun immediately gets into his stance. Ready to strike as the wolf pack charges, he grips his sword hilt and swings it back, building momentum. This is going to be the opening act. The words full power echo in Guhun's mind as he unleashes one decisive epic manhwa slash right in the face of the ferocious wolves. This guy Guhun is taking on the whole pack of wild beasts solo, not even flinching. A moment later, a flash of brilliant red light zips across his blade. System update: Soul Eater's cutting power has increased. The comment section is absolutely blowing up. That's it, a perfect score, I called it. Even Neon can't believe he's swinging that massive longsword around like it's a feather. The chat is just a flood of donations. User Dad just dropped 50,000 gold with the message, phenomenal control. Guhun tightens his grip on the weapon. Feeling it in his hands, he thinks, yep, this thing felt different from the very start. Meanwhile, Hannah is sweating buckets in the background, muttering to herself, her face pale with disbelief. Was that the Tian Yue Zhan? Yeah? It was.